Fierce wind howls. Rain pours down. At the cliff's edge, I swallow a mouthful of bittersweet saliva, staring dead ahead. 3 Foundation establishment cultivators in blood-red robes surround me in a triangle formation. Their killing intent almost solidifies. Wen Wu, hand over what you have, and I'll let you keep a whole corpse. I ignore him. Slowly opening. My left palm, caked with mud and blood. A pill the size of a dragon's eye lies in it. In the southern domain cultivation world, this divine object only exists in legends. Impossible. I've heard of it. You, just some rogue cultivator. How could you refine something like this? Who said I refined it? Without hesitation, I toss the divine pill into my mouth. It dissolves on the tongue. Massive spiritual power explodes inside me. Thunderclouds gather. The heavenly tribulation is about to strike. Ha ha ha. I grip the gourd in my arms. Feeling the newborn power, I laugh. But that was 30 years later. 30 years ago, I couldn't even afford the cheapest Qi condensing pill, let alone swallow an immortal pill on the spot. My name is Wen Wu, but I master neither literature nor martial arts. Just the most insignificant among 3,000 outer sect disciples. At 15, they tested me. 5 elements spiritual root. They barely accepted me and assigned me to this spirit herb garden halfway up the mountain. The cultivation world is cruel. No talent, no backing. Every day before dawn, I have to carry water and water the herbs. Each herb sells for 2 spirit stones. 50 herbs a month go to the sect. The rest is for food and resources. I've been farming here for 3 years. Wen Wu, what are you dawdling for? If you don't fetch water now, you won't be able to practice the spirit jade art today. Coming. I'm only at Qi Condensation Layer 1 now. Peak. It took 3 years just to step from immortal into Qi Condensation, so slow it's despairing. If I don't break through to Layer 2 by year end, I'll be driven down the mountain, become immortal again. Having tasted immortality, falling back to the mortal world is worse than death. That evening, before it got dark, I went to the edge of soul-breaking forest to pick wild bitterleaf hemp. This herb isn't valuable, but chewed and applied to the shoulders, it eases the bruises from carrying water. Soul-breaking forest is forbidden. High-level demon beasts roam there. I only dare stay at the very edge. I just bent down to pull some grass. When I caught a strong stench of blood, my heart tightened. Instinctively, I dropped flat, held my breath. In the cultivation world, curiosity kills fast. I waited a full hour. No movement around. Only crows cawing. I steeled myself, crawled toward the blood smell, pushing aside the bushes. I saw 2 corpses. A black-robed middle-aged man, his chest blown open in a huge hole. A gaunt old Taoist, a broken sword lodged in his neck. Clearly a brutal fight. They killed each other. My heart pounded. This was definitely murder for treasure. My first instinct was to run. But I felt my empty storage pouch. Thought of the year-end assessment. Gritted my teeth and crept closer. Forgive me, seniors. You're dead anyway. No use for these things. Better they help a living man. Muttering, I quickly searched them. Too bad. The black-robed man's storage pouch was completely shattered. The old man didn't even have a storage pouch. Broke as a joke. I sighed, cursed my luck for nothing. Just about to get up, I caught sight of something clutched tight in the old Taoist's stiff hand. I pried his fingers open with effort. It was a gourd the size of a palm. Neither metal nor wood. Dull gray and pitted. Like a cheap gourd from a mortal market for a few coppers. I picked it up and shook it. It rustled inside, like small pellets. On instinct, I shoved the gourd into my robe. Quickly covered the bloodstains with dirt. Ran out of soul-breaking forest without looking back. Back then, I had no idea how this unremarkable gourd would completely change the fate of a lowly mortal. Back in my drafty wooden shack, night had already fallen. I immediately barred the door, propped the wobbly table against it, leaned against the wall, gasping. My back was soaked with cold sweat. A low-level cultivator's life is worth less than grass. If anyone saw me looting a corpse, any outer sect disciple could crush me and take the loot. I sat in the dark for a long time. After my heartbeat calmed, I carefully pulled out the gourd. No oil lamp in the room. I could only examine it by the moonlight through the broken window. My trophy bought with my life. Not metal, not jade. Felt like smooth gray stone, but extremely light. I probed it with a wisp of spiritual power. It vanished like a mud ox into the sea. No ripple at all. No trace of spiritual energy fluctuation. Not even the lowest grade magic tool. Could it be a mortal wine gourd? But that old man clutched it even in death. That defies common sense. No immortal aura or medicinal fragrance. Instead, a pungent burnt smell hit my nose, like overcooked herb dregs. I quickly tipped it into my palm. With a rustling sound, 3 black, lumpy pills rolled out. I looked closer. My heart sank halfway. These are waste pills, failed alchemy products. No medicinal effect, full of fire poison dregs. A cultivator taking them would at best clog their meridians. At worst, drop dead on the spot. No wonder he was too poor for a storage pouch. Must be a rogue cultivator who went mad from alchemy. His stash is all lethal poison. I was about to toss the gourd away when something strange happened. The moon was full tonight. A beam of moonlight fell. The moment it touched the light, the gray gourd's surface faintly glowed. If not for the deep darkness, I would never have noticed. I rubbed my eyes, leaned in close. It was real. Moonlight turned into silver threads, slowly but steadily seeping into the rough skin. As the moonlight infused, it gained a hint of warmth. It was absorbing moonlight. I was stunned. Anything that can absorb essence of heaven and earth on its own is definitely an extraordinary treasure. My fingers trembled. A crazy thought flashed through my mind. What does this gourd do with the absorbed moonlight? I looked at the burnt waste pills, then back at the gourd breathing moonlight. Carefully, I stuffed the waste pills back into the gourd, tightened the withered wooden stopper, didn't put it away. Instead, I set it squarely in the brightest patch of moonlight. That night, I neither cultivated nor slept. Like a clay statue, I stared at it, not daring to blink. Until the sky turned pale at dawn. The moon vanished. The gourd's glow completely faded. It turned back into a piece of junk no one would pick up on the road. With trembling hands, I pulled the withered wooden stopper again. The moment I pulled it out, I instinctively held my breath, afraid to smell burnt fire poison. But there was nothing. The room was silent. Instead, a faint, elusive fragrance emerged. The scent was pure, like grass and wood. I breathed it in. The fatigue from staying up all night slightly eased. I swallowed a mouthful of saliva. I tilted the gourd into my palm. I stared at these 3 pills. My breathing instantly became heavy. The originally black, pockmarked waste pill was gone. Now lying in my hand were 3 pills that were pale green all over, with smooth surfaces, even glistening with a faint luster. I had seen this kind of pill in the outer sect market of Greenwood sect. This was a Qi condensing pill, the most basic and commonly used pill for early Qi condensation cultivators to refine their cultivation. In the market, a low-grade Qi condensing pill cost 3 low-grade spirit stones. For someone like me, who in a month could only save up a few spirit herbs, a lowly menial, 3 spirit stones was an absolute fortune. But what shocked me even more was that the 3 Qi condensing pills in my hand had an even color, without a trace of impurity. These were definitely not ordinary low-grade pills. At least they reached medium grade, even top grade quality. This gray gourd can refine waste pills. A crazy thought exploded in my mind, making my scalp tingle. No wonder that skinny old man, though a rogue cultivator, dared to carry so many deadly waste pills on him. He must have obtained this gourd by chance too, and discovered its secret. He was about to use moonlight absorption to turn trash into treasure, but unfortunately, before he could enjoy this fortune, he died in the severed soul forest. In the end, it fell into my hands for nothing. I trembled all over with excitement. But after all, I had crawled through the bottom rungs for 3 years. A menial, I knew that at times like this, I must not get carried away. There were too many sinister tricks in the cultivation world. What if this only looked like a Qi condensing pill on the surface, but actually had fire poison hidden inside? And eating it would rot my guts? I carefully pulled a rusty little bone knife from under the bed, and on the surface of that pale green pill, gently scraped off a tiny bit of powder. Then I touched this powder with my fingertip, and cautiously put it into my mouth. Boom. Even though it was only a negligible amount of powder, the moment it entered my mouth, it turned into a pure, gentle warm current that surged down my throat straight to my dantian. There was no burning sensation from fire poison, no sluggish feeling from impurities, only pure, refined spiritual power. The heaven and earth Qi I absorbed from a whole night of hard meditation was not even as pure as this tiny bit of powder. It was real. This gray, dusty gourd could indeed, after absorbing moonlight, re-refine deadly waste pills and purify them into high-quality spirit pills. I clutched the 3 Qi condensing pills tightly in my hand, my eyes a little sore. 3 years, I had worked in this spirit herb garden, like an ox for 3 years, enduring countless contemptuous looks and mockery. Because my spiritual roots were impure, my Qi absorption speed was 10 times slower than normal. The year-end sect assessment was coming up, and if I remained at Qi Condensation Layer 1, I would be kicked out completely. But now things were different. With these 3 medium-grade or better Qi condensing pills, I was absolutely certain that I could break through the bottleneck of Qi Condensation Layer 2 in no time. I took a deep breath, forcibly suppressing the wild joy in my heart. The sky was already fully bright. I put the 3 Qi condensing pills into a small jade bottle and kept it close to my body. I couldn't go into seclusion immediately. If I didn't go water the snake row grass today, it would immediately draw the attention of the overseers and stewards. A lowly menial suddenly going into seclusion. Too abnormal. Laying low was the only chance to survive. I did as usual, changed into my dirt-covered clothes, hoisted the water buckets, and pushed open the broken wooden door of the thatched hut. Yo, Wen Wu, you're up early today. What? Finally thought it through. Planning to work a bit more for the sect before you get kicked out at year-end. Senior brother Wong is joking. I'm dull by nature, so the slow sparrow must start early. Just trying to do more work. He gave a cold snort and paid me no more attention, turning away to tend to his spirit herbs. He didn't notice at all that I, with my head lowered, no longer had the usual numbness and despair in my eyes. Instead, there was ambition and fervor. Just get through today. Tonight I'll swallow the Qi condensing pill and break through to Qi Condensation Layer 2. This day's labor felt longer than any day in the past 3 years. Carrying water, weeding, performing that crude spiritual sense technique. When I used to do these rough chores, my heart held only numbness and despair for the future. But today, it felt like a fire was burning in my chest. After barely enduring until dark, I declined the invitation from a few familiar menials to go bathe in the western area and practically jog back to my broken thatched hut. Closed the door, dropped the bolt, braced the wooden table against it, all in one smooth motion. I sat cross-legged on that hard wooden plank bed, forced myself to take a few deep breaths until my heartbeat slowed down. Only then did I cautiously pull out from my bosom the jade bottle containing the 3 Qi condensing pills. I uncorked the bottle and tipped out a pale green pill. That faint fragrance of herbs again entered my nostrils, refreshing my spirit. Success or failure rests on this. I hesitated no more, tipped my head back, and swallowed this medium-grade or better Qi condensing pill. The pill dissolved on contact. No chewing needed, and turned into a warm stream of essence that slid down my throat into my stomach. Then, a dull boom seemed to explode in my mind. An extremely vast yet unusually gentle spiritual power, like a bursting flood, erupted violently from my dantian. I was startled, quickly closed my eyes, and silently recited the free beginner technique, the Greenwood art, desperately guiding this spiritual power to circulate through my meridians. My impure 5-element pseudo-spiritual root, when absorbing heaven and earth Qi normally, was like using a funnel to scoop sand. It couldn't hold much. But now, the spiritual power provided by this Qi condensing pill was so pure that it almost needed no refinement by me, and spontaneously merged into my meridians. Punch after punch, each time the spiritual power circulated one cycle, a tearing pain shot through my meridians. But following that was an indescribable feeling of relief. I clenched my teeth, letting sweat soak through my coarse linen clothes. I didn't know how long passed, but that surging spiritual power inside me finally gathered into a torrent and charged toward the invisible barrier that had blocked me for 3 whole years. For a final assault, a crack, a crisp sound that only I could hear, as if some imprisonment had been completely shattered. The originally narrow and dry meridians instantly widened by more than double. A spiritual power, much more vigorous than before, flowed smoothly inside me. Qi Condensation Layer 2. I snapped open my eyes. The dark thatched hut had actually become a bit clearer in my vision. I could even hear, 30 yards outside the hut, the sound of autumn insects chirping in the grass. A feeling of power filled my entire body. I clenched my fist, feeling that now I could kill a mortal tiger with one punch. Before I could fully savor the joy of breakthrough, a strange sound suddenly came from my stomach. Then a nauseating, fishy stench emanated from my body. I looked down, by the moonlight, and saw that my skin's surface had oozed out a layer of black, sticky impurities. This was the postnatal toxins and filth, expelled by the physical body after a realm breakthrough. Seeped out a layer of black, sticky, hair-like impurities. This is after breaking through a realm. The acquired toxins and grime expelled by the body. I pinch my nose and quickly push open the door. Run to the well behind the house. Draw 3 full buckets. Pour ice-cold well water from head to toe. Only then do I wash off the filth. The cold water stings my skin. I look up at the bright moon in the night sky. The corners of my mouth finally curl up uncontrollably. 3 years, I've finally crossed this hurdle. As long as I reach Qi Condensation Layer 2, I'll safely pass the year-end sect assessment. No more worry about being expelled to live as a mortal. Back in the room, I look at the 2 remaining Qi condensing pills in the jade bottle. Then I touch the gray gourd hidden close to my body. My gaze gradually deepens. This is only the beginning. The gourd's secret must never be exposed. But I need more waste pills to feed it. Qingmu sect has 3,000 outer disciples. Every month, they trade at Qingyun market at the foot of the mountain. Waste pills, that kind of thing. No legitimate shop would sell them. I can only try my luck at rogue cultivator stalls in the black market. But I'm just a low-level outer disciple. If I openly buy waste pills in bulk, it will definitely arouse suspicion. In the cultivation world, that kind of suspicion could get me killed 100 times. Looks like I need to prepare a disguise. I stroke my chin, scheming quietly in my heart. 5 days later, it's Qingmu sect's outer sect. Once a month rest day. I have no interest like other outer disciples in catching spirit fish in the west for a feast. Instead, I lock my door early. I scrape some black soot from under the stove, smear it dark on my face and neck. Then I dig out a tattered black cotton robe from last winter. This robe is big enough, with a wide hood. I slip it on, making myself look bloated and shapeless. No one can tell my figure or age. In the cultivation world, killings for treasure are too common. Until I've saved enough to protect myself, I'd rather be a rat in the sewer. Qingyun Market is in a valley 30 li from the mountain's foot. Apart from the main street of legitimate shops, in the deepest, most secluded alley of the market, there's a ghost market that opens only from dusk to midnight. There, no one asks your origin. No one asks your status. Trading relies solely on eyesight and guts. As dusk falls, I pull my hat brim low and slip in with a few similarly concealed rogue cultivators. Inside, there are no bright moonstones. Only the occasional flicker of ghostly green spirit fires along the path. Most stall owners wear black robes, And masks. There are no shouts to sell. If you see something, you directly transmit a voice or gesture. The atmosphere is suffocatingly oppressive. I grip the jade bottle tightly, my palms drenched in sweat. After circling the ghost market 3 full times, I stop at a stall in the corner. The stall owner is a burly man in a demon mask. On the cloth are a few damaged artifacts, and a black clay jar with a seal. The jar is half open, and a familiar, pungent, burnt smell drifts out. Waste pills, judging by the amount. At least 20 to 30 grams. I force my pounding heart to calm, and deliberately pinch my voice, asking in a hoarse, low tone. How much for the trash in this jar? Mid-stage Qi condensation messed up the heat, ruined a batch of Qi gathering powder. Though they're waste pills, they still touch the edge of spirit herbs. 2 low-grade spirit stones, take it all. 2 low-grade spirit stones. For a jar of poison that could kill a man. This stall owner is practically robbing me, but instead of getting angry, I secretly breathe a sigh of relief. I'm not afraid of a lion's mouth. I'm afraid he won't sell. I don't immediately pay. Instead, from my bosom, I pull out the jade bottle containing 2 mid-grade Qi condensing pills. Pour one into my palm. Quickly flash it before the stall owner, then immediately put it back in the bottle. No spirit stones. I'll trade this Qi condensing pill for your jar of waste pills, plus an ordinary spell manual. I lower my voice, pretending to be impatient. The stall owner's expression changes instantly, even with just a glance. The pure spiritual energy and gloss of that pill are absolutely unmistakable. In a place like the black market, such a high-grade pill could sell for at least 5 low-grade spirit stones. And even then, it's hard to find. Deal. The stall owner agrees without hesitation, as if afraid I'll back out. He fumbles in his storage pouch and throws me a tattered, thread-bound book. This is an incomplete manual of fireball technique and breath concealment art, a bonus. I hand over the pill with one hand, and with the other, sweep the black clay jar and tattered book straight into my robe. The moment the trade is done, I keenly sense at least 3 pairs of eyes fixed squarely on my back. I've shown my wealth. Even just 1 Qi condensing pill is enough to drive some desperate rogue cultivators to take the risk. My scalp instantly tightens. I don't dare linger a moment. I turn and walk out of the ghost market. Out of the market. I don't dare return directly to the sect. Instead, I deliberately pick the outer areas, the complex terrain of graveyards and dense forests, to take a detour. As I walk, I memorize the newly acquired breath concealment art, desperately trying to suppress my breathing and spiritual energy fluctuations. Just as I pass a patch of low woods, a faint, muffled groan suddenly comes from ahead. I instantly lie flat in the pile of rotting leaves, not daring to breathe. Peering through the gaps in the bushes, tens of steps away, a richly dressed young cultivator is clutching his spurting neck, his eyes full of disbelief as he falls. Behind him stands a small, thin shadow, holding a dagger dripping with blood. I recognize that young cultivator. Earlier at the ghost market entrance, he spent a fortune on a high-grade flying sword and was smugly showing it off to his companion. And now, he's already a corpse growing cold. I watch that shadow expertly remove the young cultivator's storage pouch and pour a bottle of corpse-dissolving liquid onto the body. With a burst of yellow smoke and a pungent stench, the corpse, within a few breaths, turns into a pool of blood. Not even a bone fragment left. The whole thing takes less than half an incense stick's time. A living person is completely erased from the world. I bite my lip hard, keeping myself from making a sound. Cold sweat runs down my forehead into my eyes, stinging sharply. Only long after that shadow leaves do I dare get up from the ground. My legs feel as heavy as lead, my stomach churning. This is the real cultivation world. No warmth, no mercy, only naked survival of the fittest. If you're not strong enough, or even if you're not careful enough, the next pool of blood could be you. I clutch the black clay jar inside my robe, using the cover of night, and flee like a ghost back to Qingmu Sect's spirit herb garden. The experiences of this night are more thrilling than all the past 15 years of my life combined. But it is also this night that completely shatters the last illusions I held about this cultivation world. I close the door, stare at the clay jar of waste pills on the table, and the gray gourd. My gaze is more determined than ever. I will become strong. I must survive by any means necessary, and then become stronger. Back in the thatched hut, the next day, I need to get stronger. I have to survive by any means, then get stronger. The second day back at the thatched hut. Early morning, I was just the same as always, carrying that heavy wooden bucket out to fetch water. Hey Wen Wu, where did you go messing around last night? Your eyes are so dark, looks like someone punched you. You're stumbling when you walk. Senior brother Wang is joking. I was cultivating too late last night. Eager to break through, I ended up not sleeping well all night. Still the same. Outwardly, I smiled along, but secretly, without a trace, I began to circulate the breath concealment technique I had just memorized by heart last night. Although this technique was just a remnant copy, and extremely crude, but to disguise my current cultivation base, it was more than sufficient. It suppressed the spiritual power fluctuations of my Qi Condensation Layer too, completely and tightly. On the surface, it looked like I was still the one stuck at the peak of Qi Condensation Layer 1, the waste who could be expelled from the sect at any time. As the saying goes, the tree that towers over the forest is the first to be broken by the wind. After personally witnessing outside the black market that kind of ruthless murder and plunder, I understood more clearly than ever before how important it is to be a nobody. During the day, I was the most hardworking in the Greenwood sect, the most inconspicuous low-level outer disciple. I carefully tended to that small plot of green snake grass. When casting the Spirit Rain art, I put in even more effort than before, deliberately putting on an act of struggling to prepare for the year-end assessment, a look of desperate effort. Because only by appearing completely harmless and utterly valueless could I live longer in this brutal, immortal cultivation world. And at night, this shabby thatched hut with sealed doors and windows became my own exclusive cultivation realm. That black clay jar, which cost me a mid-grade Qi condensing pill, in exchange, was simply a treasure vault to me. Inside were a full 32 failed alchemy pills, Qi gathering powder. Every clear night, I would take that dusty gray gourd and reverently place it where the moonlight was brightest, and just watch as a layer of silver light appeared on its surface, greedily inhaling and exhaling the lunar essence. Then I would take those that reeked of burnt odor and deadly fire poison, the waste pills, and little by little, refine them into mid-grade pills with a fresh herbal scent, or even high-grade Qi gathering powder. Every time I saw this, in my heart, I was filled with an indescribable feeling of stability. In the cultivation world, they often say wealth, partners, techniques, terrain. The word wealth is always placed first. This gray gourd that turns trash into treasure is my means of survival and establishing myself, and even my greatest asset to dare to aspire to the great Tao of immortality. Now with such a plentiful supply of elixir pills, my cultivation base, at a speed that even I found terrifying, was steadily rising, from early Qi Condensation Layer 2 to mid-stage, then to late stage. That meridian obstruction that had blocked me for 3 full years, under the constant assault of this pure medicinal power day and night, had long become easily broken. Besides increasing my cultivation daily, I devoted all my remaining time and energy entirely into that worn-out spell book. Fireball technique. In the cultivation world, it's the most common basic elemental spell. But it was currently the only attack technique I could muster to avoid drawing any attention. Every late night, I would sneak to the edge of the soul-severing forest, into an abandoned mine shaft, to practice. At the start of practice, I could only on my fingertip barely gather a flame the size of a soybean. So weak it couldn't even ignite a dry branch. But I wasn't disheartened at all. I already had sparse, mixed spiritual roots, and dull talent. The only thing I could do was to grind it out with my life. I told myself, if once fails, then practice 10 times. If 10 times fail, then practice 100 times. When my internal spiritual power ran out, I would swallow a purified Qi gathering powder and meditate. After recovering, I would continue practicing. This continued until one late night, 3 months later. Go. A fireball the size of an adult's fist, crimson with a trace of dark blue, roared directly from my palm, bringing a scorching hot wave of air, and smashed violently into the rock wall about 10 zhong away. With a muffled, earth-shaking roar, shattered stone flew in all directions. On that solid rock wall was forcefully a charred deep crater had been blasted out. Even the rocks at the crater's edge were by that terrifying heat melted into some glass-like crystals. Breathing heavily, I leaned against the rock wall, staring fixedly at my own hands. In my eyes, an uncontainable gleam of excitement flickered. This power had definitely surpassed the fireball technique of an ordinary early Qi condensation cultivator. If I were to strike when someone is unprepared, unexpectedly, and hit a defenseless same-stage cultivator, even if he doesn't die, he'd be severely injured. Days passed like this, farming honestly during the day, and desperately training at night in that tedious cycle. Day after day passed, and my cultivation also silently reached the threshold of Qi Condensation Layer 3. In an instant, deep winter descended. Gusts of wind carried snowflakes everywhere, covering the entire mountain of Greenwood sect. And the outer sect's year-end assessment that decides the fate of countless low-level outer disciples had finally come. Snow sealed the mountain, but on the outer sect's plaza of Greenwood sect, it was crowded with people in swarms. Today is the outer sect's triennial major examination. It also determines for us low-level outer disciples a day of survival or elimination. The cold wind whistled, carrying ice chips. It bit painfully into the face, but even colder than the wind was the suffocating atmosphere in the square. Long Danian. Qi Condensation Layer 2, Spirit Herbs turned in. Qualified, pass. Liurgu, Qi Condensation Layer 1 peak, no breakthrough. Stripped of disciple identity. Immediately expelled down the mountain. Every time I heard the words, sent down the mountain, there was bound to be someone who let out a desperate wail. Then, they would be dragged away by the enforcement hall disciples like a dead dog, forcibly hauled away. The brutal, cannibalistic nature of the cultivation world was fully on display at this moment. Next, Wen Wu. The moment I heard my name, I quickly took a deep breath, rubbed my almost frozen hands hard. Lowering my head, I walked toward the testing stone. I pressed my palm onto that ice-cold stone, secretly circulating the breath concealment technique tightly, suppressing that rich spiritual power that had already touched the threshold of Qi Condensation Layer 3, locking it deep within my dantian, stingily releasing just the tiniest wisp. It flowed along the meridians into the testing stone. On the testing stone, a layer of grayish-white light immediately appeared. Neither more nor less. Just exactly. Stuck at the mark just past Qi Condensation Layer 2. Wen Wu barely entered Qi Condensation Layer 2. Spirit herbs turned in properly, pass. Count yourself lucky, step down. Hearing those words, I heaved a long sigh of relief, quickly putting on a look of having escaped a calamity. With tears of gratitude, I bowed repeatedly to the supervisor. Then I stepped back into the crowd. You lucky bastard. Got lucky and broke through at the last moment. I just smiled with a simple, honest look. Didn't answer him, but inside, I sneered coldly. If I actually revealed my Qi Condensation Layer 3 cultivation, it would certainly earn me some regard from the outer sect stewards and get some better treatment, but it would also definitely expose the secrets I carry. Turned everything inside out. A waste with a 5-element false spiritual root. How can he cultivate so fast? I just wanted to rush back to my broken wooden hut. Keep guarding my gray gourd. Lie low safe till the end of time. But who'd have thought? Heaven just wouldn't let things go my way. Right after the grand exam, we lucky Linglong who scraped through were just about to relax and disperse, when from midair, suddenly came a piercingly harsh sound of tearing air. An inner sect disciple, standing on a flying sword, crashed down onto the platform in the square with a boom. Elder's order. The sect discovered a new micro-realm in decline. 800 li past the back mountain, on the fringe of Misty Valley, grows a large amount of cold een grass, urgently needed by the sect. All Linglong who passed today's grand exam, and all outer sect disciples below Qi Condensation Layer 3, are to stand by immediately, forcibly conscripted to gather herbs in Misty Valley. Duration, 10 days. The entire square fell into dead silence. Then, a suppressed commotion erupted. Misty Valley. That place is a great danger, perpetually shrouded in poisonous miasma. The ground is crawling with venomous insects and savage beasts, and there are often cultivators from other sects, or rogue desperados lurking around, us spirit union folks, who usually just farm, being sent to gather herbs there. This is obviously using us as cannon fodder to take the lightning. No one is allowed to defy the order. Defiers will have their cultivation abolished and be executed on the spot. My heart sank straight to the bottom. I calculated everything, dodged elimination in the grand exam, but still couldn't escape the sect's scheming. In the eyes of those lofty elders, our lives are probably worth less than a single cold een grass. But I didn't panic at all. After witnessing a scene of murder and robbery at the black market, my nerves had long been tempered as tough as steel wire. I silently retreated to the very edge of the crowd. My mind began swiftly calculating the cards I had hidden up my sleeve. Cultivation, Qi Condensation Layer 3. Techniques. The fireball art, whose power far exceeds its rank, and the breath concealment art for hiding my true level. Taking advantage of the sect assembling the flying boats, I used the excuse of needing to urinate, and quickly ducked into a secluded corner. I hastily counted the belongings tucked against my chest. Gray gourd. That is my lifeline, absolutely never to leave my side. Also 3 jade bottles. In the first bottle are 5 refined high-grade Qi condensing pills, critical for quickly replenishing spiritual energy. The second bottle has 2 blood-clotting pills. I made those with some cheap healing herbs. By fooling around with the gourd, the effect is surprisingly good. As for this third bottle, it contains only 1 pitch-black pill. That smells nauseating. Don't underestimate it. When I was using the gourd to refine a lung elixir, I accidentally concocted this top-grade poison pill. Not only did it not wash away the fire poison, but it actually concentrated all the impurities and miasma toxins to an extreme degree. I tested it on a wild rabbit in the back mountain. Just a speck of powder touched it, and within 3 breaths, the rabbit dissolved into a pool of foul, bloody water. This is my last trump card for survival. After enduring half an hour, a gigantic wooden flying boat hovered right above the square, together with hundreds of ashen-faced Linglong. I was herded onto the flying boat. I specifically found the most inconspicuous nook, sat down cross-legged, pulled my wide hood down low, closed my eyes, and desperately tried to lower my presence. The flying boat suddenly shook violently and shot straight into the air, breaking through the wind toward the unknown valley. The bone-chilling wind howled past my ears. Sitting down, I gripped the poison pill hidden in my sleeve tightly. The eyes behind my hood in the shadow turned icy. You want me dead? Not that easy. The flying boat landed with a heavy thud. Outside the Misty Valley, the hatch opened, and a pungent stench of rot, mingled with gray-white mist, rushed straight in. 10 days, bring enough 30 cold een grass. Gather back here. Those who don't deliver, stay in the valley as flower fertilizer. Get off. All us Linglong, like ducks being shooed, stumbled and shambled into the thick mist. The moment my feet touched the ground, without a word, I immediately activated the breath concealment art. Like a loach, I slipped into waist-high bushes, quickly distancing myself from the crowd. In a lawless hellhole like this, the scariest things aren't the venomous bugs or demon beasts, but the bloodthirsty fellow disciples beside you, stupidly following the main group. Just makes you cannon fodder. For those higher-level outer disciples, you can't see far in this Misty Valley. Even your divine sense is suppressed to a range of 1 or 2 zhang. I carefully stepped on the rotten fallen leaves, clutching that rusty bone-cleaning knife tightly in my hand. For the first 3 days, relying on being more cautious than anyone, I evaded 2 early Qi condensation demon wolves, and in a few dark, damp rock crevices, successfully found 12 stalks of frost-covered cold een grass. At this rate, getting 30 stalks in 10 days isn't hard. But who could have thought? On the evening of the 4th day, something still went wrong. I was lying by a muddy pond, eyeing a perfect stalk of cold een grass, just about to reach for it, when suddenly behind me came a very faint sound of a twig breaking. Every hair on my body stood on end. Without a moment's hesitation, not even daring to turn my head, I did a lazy donkey roll to the side. A cyan blade of wind grazed right past my scalp, slamming hard into the spot where I'd just been lying. It carved a deep trench through the cold, grass and mud. Heh, a trash at Qi Condensation Layer 2. Has pretty quick reflexes. Two figures slowly emerged from the mist. On the left, a burly bald man, toying with a couple of talismans in his hand. On the right, a scarface, with traces of cyan wind element still swirling around his fingertip. Rogue cultivators. Judging by that undisguised bloody smell on them, they've definitely killed quite a few in this valley. I swept my eyes over their cultivation levels. Bald man, Qi Condensation Layer 3. Scarface, peak Qi Condensation Layer 2. I deliberately let my voice tremble. Fellow Taoists, I'm just an outer sect farmer. I only have these few stalks of coldine grass I just picked. Take them all. Spare my life, okay? As I spoke, I made my body shake and deliberately stumbled backward, tripping over a rotten log. Kill you, and the stuff is still ours. Blame your bad luck. Before the words had even faded, the Scarface raised his hand, and another wind blade came flying at my neck. I let out a hopeless scream, tumbling and rolling to dodge the wind blade. But my left arm still got nicked by the shockwave, gashed open to the bone. Blood instantly soaked through my sleeve. The pain made me gasp, but my hands never stopped moving. I quickly fished out the jade bottle of blood-clotting pills from my robe and swallowed one. Within 3 breaths, the wound on my left arm stopped bleeding. Big brother, be careful. This kid has high-grade pills. Scarface's eyes lit up, greed written all over his face. He directly drew his magic sword and charged at me. When the bald man heard that, he also quickened his pace. The two came from left and right, not even bothering to guard. 2 people, one on the left, one on the right. They didn't even bother with defenses. All I could think about was killing them and grabbing their loot. In their eyes, a wounded, terrified Qi Condensation Layer 2 waste like me was no different from a fish on a chopping block. I was waiting for them to let their guard down. The moment that scar-faced man's sword was about to plunge into my chest, the fear I had faked in my eyes turned instantly as cold as still water. I snapped my right hand up. No spell, just curled a finger and flicked. A pitch-black, foul-smelling pill, as if it had eyes, shot straight at the face of the scar-faced man leading the charge. What hidden weapon? Bang. The moment that poison pill touched his sword edge, it exploded instantly, becoming a cloud of black-purple poison mist. Scarface stumbled back, even threw away his sword, clutching his face for just 2 breaths. Then he crashed to the ground with a thud, dissolving into a pool of stinking black sludge. The bald man behind him looked like his eyeballs would pop out. He forced himself to stop mid-charge, and the look he gave me shifted from contempt to pure terror. He was probably thinking, what the hell kind of poison is this? Now it's your turn. I held nothing back anymore. The full, vigorous spiritual power of Qi Condensation Layer 3 exploded out of me without reserve. Go. The defensive talisman the bald man frantically slapped onto himself was nothing but paper against my fireball, which I had compressed and refined countless times. It was torn to shreds in an instant. Boom! Flames shot skyward. The bald man didn't even have time to scream. Humph! The fireball blasted him into a charred corpse. He slammed heavily into a tree trunk several zhang away. Dead as dead could be. The valley fell back into deathly silence, with only the crackling of burning branches remaining. This was the first time I had truly killed someone. I survived. I scanned the surroundings warily, made sure no one else had been drawn here, then forced myself to walk to that charcoal corpse. I skillfully ripped the storage pouch off his waist, pulled out the corpse-dissolving liquid from my chest, and cleaned up the body completely. After that, I wiped the cold sweat and mud off my face, and without looking back, plunged deeper into the mist. Gotta run further. My lungs are about to burst. Here will do. Seal it off, just leave a crack for air. Finally alive. This top-grade blood-staunching pill's effect is truly overbearing. Kill, burn, and the gold belt really does come, but I can't carry it all. Scatter. Jackpot. Over 70 low-grade spirit stones. At the bottom rung like me, I couldn't save that much farming for a lifetime. Dark iron shield. Good stuff, and a few talismans. This flying sword. At least a mid-grade magic tool. And a jade box. What's in here? So many shadow herbs. 45 whole stalks. With my own 12. The mission is way over quota. No wonder so many rogue cultivators would rather not live a peaceful life, but insist on forming knots. 3 years of hard farming really can't compare to killing 2 people in this valley. But this life of licking the blade can't be a habit. Walk by the river often, and you'll eventually wet your shoes. I got lucky today. If I'd run into a tough, mid-Qi condensation cultivator, I'd be the pool of blood. Hide the spirit stones, the dark iron shield, and the flying sword well. Keep only 30 shadow herbs. Turning in even one more will invite unnecessary questions. Keep a low profile. I'll just hole up here for the remaining 6 days. Let them kill each other out there. No one's gonna make me move. Use these days to stabilize my cultivation and master this dark iron shield. Another chip for survival. Over 500 came. Now less than 300 remain. No one cares who's missing. In the world of immortal cultivation, human life is indeed the cheapest consumable. Turning in the mission. Playing the fool. I'm good at it. that steward probably can't figure out how a waste like me managed to finish the mission and survive. Next, just these 3 pieces of junk? Like tossing scraps to a beggar, I don't care. Now my storage pouch has over 100 spirit stones, 2 magic tools, and of course my biggest asset, the gray gourd. This trip to Mist Valley has made back all my capital. As long as I get back to that broken thatch hut, I can go into seclusion with peace of mind, with such abundant spirit pills and spiritual awareness backing me. Mid-Qi condensation is secure. Finally back to this drafty doggle, leaning my back against the rough wall. The nerves that had been wound tight for 10 days in Mist Valley finally completely relaxed. The moldy smell of this room. Now it smells more reassuring than any immortal pill, but I still have to be on guard, even in my own den. Never let my guard down. Keep the dark iron shield within reach. In the days that followed, I turned back into that meek, bottom-rung nobody. Every day, I honestly carried water and farmed the land, listening to Fatty Wong boast. A lot of people died in Mist Valley this time. Everyone's busy carving up the territory, so no one pays any attention to a worthless nobody like me. Over 100 low-grade spirit stones. I hid them all under my bed. Didn't dare spend a single one. A poor farmer, suddenly splurging at the magic market. That's like an old man eating arsenic, too long for life. You have to live to spend the money. Now the priority is to improve cultivation. That jar of spirit pills is now my lifeline. With this gourd of top-grade Qi gathering powder that everyone outside would kill for, I can eat it like candy. Breaking through to Qi Condensation Layer 4 is a natural progression. Only 3 months after returning. 2 Qi gathering pills down. And that hurdle was broken. I became Qi Condensation Layer 4. My sense of martial energy is much sharper now. My spiritual sense can sweep out to Tenjiang. Even that stray cat getting rained on Tenjiang away, I can see it clearly. Qi Condensation mid-stage. Finally out of the bottommost mire. But this is still far from enough. Keep training. This year, I didn't step out the front door, didn't leave the back gate. No high-level techniques. So I used the dumbest method. Grinding it out with that flying sword. Slash, stab, lift. If one time isn't enough, do it 10,000 times. Early winter of the 2nd year. All the spirit pills were used up. This is the last one. Qi Condensation Layer 5. Charge. This spiritual power is too fierce. Hold on. Fight. Get the greater circulation going. Breakthrough. Qi Condensation Layer 5. Yes. With this power, plus the flying sword and fireball technique, if I run into that Scarface bunch again, I'll cut them down within 10 moves. Intersects 5 peaks. 30 years ago, I couldn't even afford a low-grade pill. Now I finally have the capital to survive. Hiding in the herb garden won't lead to great things. Ordinary pills are useless now. I need to find a way to get something more advanced. Even start preparing for foundation establishment, no matter how dangerous the outside world is. Wen Wu, must fight for the path to immortality. For years have passed in the blink of an eye. Thinking back to 4 years ago, I was still stuck at Qi Condensation Layer 1. A waste about to be kicked out any day. 0 spiritual roots. No background. Every day breaking my back for that measly quota of star snake grass. Working like a dog. Until in soul-severing forest. I braved myself and touched those 2 corpses. Got the Qi Yuehua. Turned waste into treasure. Relying on this secret, I carefully skirted to the black market to trade for waste pills. In Misty Valley, I killed those 2 robbery cultivators instead. Earned my first pot of gold. Just relying on those spirit stones and artifacts. And a constant supply of top-grade Qi gathering powder. I forcibly, in this broken thatched hut, broke through to Qi Condensation Layer 5. Qi Condensation Layer 5 means nothing in the eyes of those major sect prodigies. But within this outer sect's 3,000 acres, I can absolutely walk sideways. But I know clearly inside, I can't stay in this spirit herb garden anymore. The gourd is out of supplies. Reached Qi Condensation mid-stage. Qi gathering powder taken down doesn't even make a ripple. I need to get higher-grade waste pills, like waste pills of spirit-transporting pills. That low-level black market at the foot of the mountain. Can't find what I need at all. Staying here any longer. Not to mention my cultivation will stall. A low-level outer disciple not aging for years. Sooner or later, it will invite the enforcement hall's soul search. I have to leave. Just in time for the sect's once every 5 years external duty rotation. Flying Cloud City, 3,000 li away. Rogue cultivators gather in droves. Lots of trade, definitely no shortage of waste pills. The sect's Greenwood Pavilion is short a clerk. Requires Qi Condensation Layer 4 or above. I suppressed my cultivation to just broke through Layer 4. Stuffed in 3 spirit stones. That settled it. Set off early tomorrow. Filled in the hidden compartment. Crushed and buried the clay pot. All my belongings and life are packed securely. Senior Brother Wong busy? Heard from the steward that you, kid, got lucky. Broke through to Qi Condensation Layer 4. Been assigned to Flying Cloud City to enjoy yourself. How is that enjoying? Just going to the market to serve tea and water for others. Outside, rogue cultivators are many. Might end up beheaded any day. Might as well stay in the sect farming, safe and stable. At least you have self-awareness, kid. That place Flying Cloud City devours people without spitting bones. A dullard like you going there better be sharp. Don't end up not even knowing how you died. This half-acre of green snake grass is mine to grow from now on. Hurry up and leave. Don't delay my work. Then thank you for your past care, Senior Brother Wong. Fatty, oh fatty. Once I leave, we'll really be separated between immortal and mortal. You seek the stability of your 2 spirit stones. The path I walk is one that may shatter my bones at any moment, yet leads to the great way of long life and eternal vision. Half a month. Finally arrived. Wow. I've been in Greenwood Sect for 7 years, seen a bit of the world. But compared to this Flying Cloud City, damn spectacular. Flying in the sky are all big shots and family young masters. Ants like us at Qi Condensation can only obediently queue through the main gate. Entry fee, 1 low-grade spirit stone, and a residence permit, valid for 1 month. Those who don't renew after expiry, City Patrol will kill on the spot. Get out. 1 low-grade spirit stone in the sect can last half a month. A laborer here exchanges it for a 1-month residence permit. This isn't cultivating immortality. This is eating spirit stones. A real money-burning pit. So bustling. Artifacts, elixirs, blessings, everything. As long as you have enough spirit stones, even life-extending spirit fruits can probably be bought. Keep a low profile, hold your bag tight. Greenwood Pavilion should be in the East District of the outer city. Compared to those big shops on the main street, our sect's Greenwood Pavilion is really shabby. What do you want? Not accepting star snake grass today. Come back tomorrow, please leave. This senior uncle. I am Wen Wu, newly sent by the sect to do odd jobs. Specially report to shopkeeper Liu. Qi Condensation Layer 8. Though lacking in blood and qi. But this strength cannot be ignored. I am shopkeeper Liu. Since you're sent by the sect, you should know the rules. Room and board included, base salary 3 low-grade spirit stones per month. Work is to sort, process, and store spirit herbs. Be quick and nimble. Damage the medicinal properties, and we deduct pay. Yes, shopkeeper Liu, this disciple understands. Will do my utmost. Anyo, take him to the back courtyard to see his bed. Teach him how to handle midnight soot. Qi Condensation Layer 3, pretty sharp. Brother 1, sleep at the innermost. Conditions are a bit poor, but in Flying Cloud City, free lodging is already good. Shopkeeper Liu has a bad temper. Be diligent, but this job handles many herbs. Occasionally you'll encounter good goods that others overlooked. A heaven-sent disguise. Processing these crappy grasses every day. Just right to stealthily learn the ins and outs of the pills here. This odd job work is truly draining, but perfect for hiding. So many alchemists in Flying Cloud City. Rogue cultivators dreaming of getting rich by alchemy are a dime a dozen. Where there's alchemy, there are waste pills. The volume is much larger than in Greenwood Sect. Brother Inyo, today when I went to dump the herb dregs, I saw someone on the street selling black, burnt pills. Can that stuff be eaten? There's a rotten pill alley in the west of the outer city. All poor wretches who dream of becoming alchemists live there. Half-baked pills, they can't bear to throw away. Bring them out to cheat newbies. Eating that stuff is asking for death. Rotten pill alley. A garbage heap in others' eyes. To me, Wen Wu, that is a treasure mine buried with gold. Waste pills of spirit training pills. This time I have a lead. Days doing odd jobs at Greenwood Pavilion. Boring, truly boring. But in my heart, I'm happy. Endured a full half month. Finally waited for the first rest day. Change my appearance. This is basic procedure. Concealing breath art. Suppress to 5 layers. Suppress to 3 layers. In this Flying Cloud City full of gods on the streets, Qi Condensation. A 3-layer popper is the most inconspicuous. Who has nothing better to do? To watch me? Following the direction Ainyo pointed. Good heavens. This pungent burnt and strange smell. Rotten pill alley is right here. Look at these people. Eyes red from staying up. Hair singed. Dreaming of becoming an alchemy master. In the end, all beaten bloody by reality. Come take a look. Authentic Qi gathering powder waste pills, though a bit burnt. Still has 2 tints of medicinal power inside. For retail, absolutely worth it. Damaged cauldron, fire sale. Only 10. Low-grade spirit stones for basic Qi gathering powder. Waste pills at cabbage prices, I don't care about. What I'm looking for is spirit transporting pills for Qi condensation mid-stage. This thing is extremely hard to refine. Even waste pills are rare goods. Wandered for a full 2 hours. Finally caught sight of it. Even burnt to charcoal, I'd recognize it. This smell of jade marrow juice. Absolutely can't be wrong. Spirit transporting pill waste pill, steady. Can't reveal my hand. Old man, how much for this pile of black charcoal? This is a spirit transporting pill. Waste pill, the furnace just exploded yesterday. Though it's wasted, the fire poison and medicinal power are very strong. Best used to extract poison to feed spirit insects. Not sold separately, together with this broken cauldron. 5 low-grade spirit stones. 5 low-grade spirit stones. Has this old bastard gone mad from poverty? In this shabby alley, 5 spirit stones could buy dozens of gene of basic waste pills, enforcing a broken iron cauldron on me. 5 spirit stones. I could go to a regular pharmacy, buy a genuine product of the worst quality. Keep your precious cauldron. Just let it simmer for now. 3 pieces. 3 low-grade spirit stones, all yours. I don't have any money left to buy hemostatic grass. If I don't treat my wounds now, this old bones will end up buried here. Guess I'm just unlucky. Lucky me, my black-bellied toad needs some strong medicine anyway. Move out. Pull back. Take a few extra loops. Can't let anyone tail us. Once it's safe, change clothes. Finally made it to nightfall. TCH, 3 low-grade spirit stones. For just these 3 stones, I'd have to toil in the Greenwood sect, planting fields for a month and a half. But after tonight, once my gray gourd soaks up enough moonlight, this pile of charcoal will all turn into priceless top-grade fortune pills. 1 top-grade fortune pill, in a proper shop, sells for at least 20 low-grade spirit stones. Most importantly, with this batch of pills, my cultivation, stuck at early Qi Condensation Layer 5, can finally break through again. Hurry up and get here already. Please. Hurry up and get here already. Midnight. Those idiots are dead asleep, snoring loud enough to shake the walls. Perfect for me to get things done. Sneak to the broken woodshed in the back courtyard. Half the roof's collapsed. Moonlight just pours right in. The herb dregs smell strong enough in here to mask any spiritual energy fluctuations when the pills form. Perfect cover. Old friend, it's up to you now. All these dozen-plus failed black-purple fortune pills. Dump them all in. Suck it up, go all out. Seeing those countless threads of moonlight getting drawn in. No matter how many times I watch, it still thrills me. Got nothing else to do. Let me check out this broken cauldron I bought from that old man. Damn, it's heavy. At least 20 or 30 gene. Covered in rust. And a crack this big on the belly. Even a crack thinner than a hair can make a cauldron explode. This is nothing but a completely useless piece of scrap. That blind old man was so poor, yet he still carried it around. Talk about stubborn obsession. Wait, this base is way too thick. A normal beginner's alchemy cauldron has a thin base for even heating. Very thin. This piece of junk space must make up almost a third of its weight. Something's off. Let me probe along the crack with my spiritual energy. There's resistance. It's not that dead iron kind of blockage. More like a stubborn structure. There's a hidden layer inside. Azure flying sword out. Can't make a sound. Mustn't channel sword energy. Use it like a sharp blade. Pry along the edge, little by little. Pop, it's open. So this thick base really is a lid. In that half CUN square hidden compartment, there's a fragment of beast hide. Edges torn all messy. On it, written in dark red fluid, tiny characters. What kind of flame control art is this? This is actually a technique specifically for controlling flames. A fragment. Gods, what a find. It teaches you how to unravel violent fire-type spiritual energy strand by strand, turning it into something soft as silk around your finger. Even though it's an alchemist's flame control method, my only trump card is the fireball technique. This is like a tiger gaining wings for me. If I learn it, I can condense fireballs faster, and even change their shape. The power will absolutely reach a whole new level. 3 low-grade spirit stones. I really hit the jackpot. That blind old man was sitting on a treasure mountain, treating it like trash, all benefiting me. The glow's fading. The soul drawing is done. Put the fragment away first. Open the lid. No burnt smell anymore. The medicinal fragrance is so thick it's almost tangible. Just one sniff. And the spiritual energy I had stuck at early Qi Condensation Layer 5 starts stirring restlessly. Glug glug glug. 12 round, plump pills. Pale blue, like top-grade sapphires. 12 top-grade fortune pills. I'm rich. If I sold them in a proper shop, they'd be worth at least over 200. Low-grade spirit stones. But I'd be crazy to sell them. These are divine medicines for breaking through bottlenecks in the mid-Qi condensation stage. In Flying Cloud City. Even with money you can't buy top-grade goods this pure. Quick, put them in a white jade bottle. Seal this medicine box tight. Can't let a single wisp leak out. With this batch of fortune pills, in this perilous Flying Cloud City, I finally have some confidence. Qi Condensation Layer 6 is within reach. Stick this broken cauldron back together and throw it in the trash. Lie back on this hard, narrow bed, listening to these guys snoring. I need to carefully plan my next steps. With the pills and the technique, my days in Flying Cloud City became a simple 2-point routine. By day, I'm still that honest, hard-working menial disciple. Splitting firewood, cutting herbs, I do it all. Even that stingy old Lou, for the first time, actually praised me as diligent. But once night falls, this broken woodshed becomes my secret training ground. Top-grade pills really live up to the name. The medicinal power is 10 times fiercer than before. Spiritual energy surges through my meridians like a fire dragon. If not for the formation plate blocking it, the front courtyard would have noticed long ago. And so I endured for 3 months. Ate 8 pills. This old cart pulled by a worn-out ox body of mine finally exploded with power. Qi Condensation Layer 6. In the outer city of Flying Cloud City, I can barely be considered a decent hand. What makes me even happier is this flame control art. It doesn't teach you to make fireballs bigger, but to compress them into armor-piercing fire threads. Small volume, fast speed, and completely silent. It's a perfect skill for ambushes and assassinations. I plan to work by day to keep up appearances, level up in secret at night, and steadily tough it out to late Qi condensation. But alas, a shithole like Flying Cloud City has no such thing as a peaceful day. Ah, heavens. Ah, so it's Hall Master Zhao of the Black Wolf Gang honoring us with his presence. To what do we owe the pleasure? The monthly protection money. We've been paying it on time. The protection money. Old Lou, let's not beat around the bush. Your Greenwood sect might be something in the southern domain, but in Flying Cloud City, you're less than nothing. Starting today, this street comes under our control. Protection money triples. The spirit herbs your shop collects. Sell to us first at 30% of market price. That's impossible. 30% market price? How is that any different from outright robbery? We have a sect backing us too. Don't push us too far. Sect backing? Ha ha ha. Ah, shopkeeper. Qi Condensation Layer 8 peak. Plus those 4 lackeys behind him. Fighting head-on is suicide. I can only hold my breath and stay still as a stone. If they all rush in together, the Greenwood Pavilion will be razed today. Old fool, you don't know when to accept a favor. I'll give you 3 days. Either hand over the deed and spirit herbs and get out. Or you and your family can be fertilizer outside the city. Let's go. The Greenwood Pavilion. This haven is completely untenable now. 3 days. The sect is no help at all. Stay and be butchered or become a slave. Looks like it's time to run. Since I'm leaving, I'm not going empty-handed. Old Lou has been squeezing me dry for so long. I'll help myself to those goodies in the storeroom. The rain in Flying Cloud City is falling even harder, as if trying to scrub away all the grime from the outer city. Old Lou took that palm strike and damaged his heart meridian. Even if he survives, his cultivation is completely ruined for life. Brother Anya, what are you doing? Brother Wen, we really can't stay here. The Black Wolf Gang kills without blinking. Once they come to take over the shop, we'll definitely be caught and used as test subjects for pills. I'll climb over the wall under cover of night and go back to the countryside to farm. I'm done with cultivation. Take care on the road. Don't go through the city gate. Find those merchant caravans smuggling mortal supplies and sneak out with them. Take care, brother. Anu can return to the mortal world, but I can't go back, having glimpsed the scenery of immortality. Who would be willing to go back to being immortal? This shop can't be saved anyway. The good stuff in the warehouse meant to be shipped back to the sect, rather than let those bandits have it. I might as well use it to advance my cultivation path. That low-grade early warning formation on the door is nothing but decoration against my high-temperature fire needles. Jackpot. Over 300 low-grade spirit stones. And a century-old red crystal Ganoderma. No wonder old Lou fought tooth and nail and refused to give ground. This old bastard embezzled so many good things behind the sect's back. There must be lookouts at the front gate. Taking the back alley is safer. Lousy, look. I told you there must be a rat in this dump, trying to slip away in the chaos, kid. Throw over your storage pouch. Your grandpa, will show mercy, and leave you a whole corpse. Times have changed. I can't even be bothered to waste words. I need to finish this quickly. What the hell is that? Lousy, mother. Trying to escape? Qi Condensation Layer 6 versus Mid-Stage Qi Condensation. As long as you seize the initiative, it's a one-sided slaughter. From this moment on, I am no longer some low-level Ling Long, nor a menial of the Greenwood Pavilion. I am a rogue cultivator in Flying Cloud City, without ties, fighting only for immortality. This heavy rain in Flying Cloud City lasted 3 days and 3 nights. The outer city has been in complete chaos these past few days. I heard the big shots of Greenwood Sect in the inner city flew into a rage. They directly wiped out a branch of the Black Wolf gang. But well, none of this has anything to do with me anymore. Now I'm safely hiding in the southern district of the outer city. There are all sorts of people here, every kind of person. It's the perfect swamp for someone like me to hide in. After disposing of the bodies that night, I soaked in a stinking ditch for a full half hour. I washed away all traces of spiritual power, marks, and scent completely. Then I used some disguise powder and stuck on a fake scar. Pretended to be a weathered middle-aged rogue cultivator. Spent 50 low-grade spirit stones to rent this courtyard for 3 years at once, from a greedy old man. Just in case, I also buried a costly market alert formation under the wall. If anyone tries to climb over the wall, I'll know immediately. After all this trouble, I finally have time to count the spoils from that night. From Greenwood Pavilion's warehouse, a full 320. Plus from those 2 unlucky bastards. And the 480 I saved myself, total low-grade spirit stones. That's not counting 2 mid-grade flying swords and a shield, and a bunch of talismans. Oh right, and this treasure. The century-old red crystal Ganoderma. Haha. Men die for wealth. Birds die for food. If old Lou knew that all the spirit stones he embezzled are now mine, he'd probably be so angry he'd crawl back from the underworld. Money is money, but I absolutely dare not show it off. In the cultivation world, flaunting wealth without backing is just asking for a short life. Wealth must be turned into strength to be truly safe. Over the next 2 months, I didn't step a foot outside. During the day, I'd stubbornly practice the flame control art, working on the armor-piercing thrust. At night, I used the gourd to refine lung-nourishing pills. I focused all my effort on breaking through to Qi Condensation Layer 7. But this path of immortality only gets harder the further you go. From Layer 6 to Layer 7. That's the watershed between mid-stage and late-stage. What's needed is spiritual power, but pure accumulation won't work. Even the most precise supreme-grade spirit-transporting pill still lacks a bit of impact. To break through, I need to get specialized realm-breaking pills, or foundation-nourishing pills that late-stage cultivators use. But good stuff like that definitely can't be found in the trash heap of some broken medicine chest. The tea house is always the fastest place for news to spread in this city. Hey, have you heard? The once every 3 years underground black market grand auction will be held at the Dark Fragrance Pavilion in the inner city on the 5th of next month. TCH, what's that got to do with us? That's the place for the big merchant clans to feast. I heard even remnants of foundation establishment pills will be there. Poor bastards like us can't even meet the minimum asset verification to get in. That's where you're wrong. Besides the inner hall auction, there's also a 3-day free trading fair in the outer grounds. By then, tough characters from other cities will come massed to set up stalls. The good stuff there. Even black market goods that can't see the light. As long as you have spirit stones, what can't you buy? Underground black market grand auction? Outer grounds free trading fair. Can't buy good pills from regular shops. But this chaotic black market is absolutely a paradise for fencing goods and buying off-market items. Everyone hides their identity. Isn't this tailor-made for me? There are still 20 days until the 5th of next month to break through to late stage. For immortality. This time, Wen Wu must go into that man-eating darkness and have a good fight. 20 days passed in a flash. On that night, I made preparations early. Using disguise powder, I completely changed the bone structure of my sallow face. Then at the edge of the market, I spent 10 low-grade spirit stones to buy this green cloak that can block Qi condensation level divine sense probing. And this bronze mask. The cloak felt heavy on my body, but it completely concealed my layer 6 cultivation fluctuations. Underground, in the black market, protecting your background is more important than anything. At this moment, in the basement of the Dark Fragrance Pavilion in the inner city of Flying Cloud City. Who would have thought the entrance was hidden beneath a dry well in the bustling flower street? These 2 black-armored guards were actually emitting the terrifying aura of Qi Condensation Layer 9. You know the rules, right? Asset verification for entry, 100 low-grade spirit stones, or treasures of equivalent value. A threshold of 100 low-grade spirit stones. That's enough to keep 99% of the low-level rogue cultivators in Flying Cloud City. Out of the door. Enter. The outer trading fair lasts 3 days. No dueling. No forced buying or selling. Violators die. The world behind the door is completely different from the noisy flower street outside. Hundreds of white jade platforms arranged neatly. No hawking, no noise. Everyone speaks in extremely low voices, or uses divine sense to communicate. The atmosphere is oppressive, yet it exudes a maddening aura of wealth. This is definitely a money pit for high-level cultivators. That top-grade spell sword's price tag is actually 800. Low-grade spirit stones, and rare spirit fruits that increase lifespan. Strange artifacts reeking of blood. I suppressed my shock, and specifically looked for stalls displaying pill bottles. Do you have any waste pills of foundation nourishing pill? Good eye. I happen to have a bottle here. Defective products from an alchemy master's failed attempt at foundation nourishing pills. Although the fire poison is deep, they were still refined using century-old azure grass, so the medicinal potency is extremely fierce. A bottle of 8 pills, 50, low-grade spirit stones. No bargaining. 50 stones? That's practically robbery. But inside, I'm ecstatic. Peiyuan pill is a Qi Condensation. Late-stage bottleneck breakthrough pill. I'll take it. The transaction was extremely smooth. Half the weight lifted from my heart. I plan to make another round. If there's nothing else I need, I'll retreat immediately. Right after that, a faint but extremely clear burning sensation passed through my inner clothes and reached my skin. For years, ever since I got this gray gourd, apart from purifying pills under moonlight, it had never reacted to any external object, not even the slightest bit. The stall owner was a big man. Everything in front of him was junk. A green rusted bronze broken sword. A half-weathered demon beast skeleton. An unknown black stone. Every time my gaze swept over an item, I felt the temperature change of the gourd in my arms. Finally, my eyes locked onto a piece only half a palm in size. A withered yellow wood chip, like a dead vine, or like dried bark. Not even the slightest trace of spiritual energy fluctuation, as if picked up carelessly from a pile of firewood. But when I stared at it, the burning sensation of the gourd in my chest instantly peaked. Boss, how much for this pile of scrap metal? These were all dug up from the perimeter ruins of an ancient cultivator's cave dwelling. Though their spiritual nature is all gone, the materials are special. Pick any one. 30 low-grade spirit stones. 30? Why don't you just rob me? 30 blocks. A pile of spiritless junk dares to sell for 30 blocks? I'll pay at most 10 spirit stones. Buy a few pieces to study forging materials. 10 is too little. 20 low-grade spirit stones. These 3 pieces, all yours. Deal. The gourd in my arms was still faintly hot, like a starving beast, emitting an impatient craving. I didn't know what that wood chip really was. But I knew. My gray gourd might be about to undergo a true transformation. Left the dark fragrance pavilion. I didn't dare go straight back to Willow Tree Alley. In the twisted sewers and abandoned mortal slums, I circled for a full 3 hours. During that time, I changed into 3 completely different disguises. I even deliberately squatted dead still for half an hour, in the backyard of a rogue cultivator's tool workshop, convinced that not even a fly was following me. I only then climbed back over the wall into my small courtyard before dawn. The commoner clothes at the base of the wall were perfectly intact. Not a single trace of disturbance. Locked the door from inside. Activated the isolation array plate. My entire body slumped against the door as if drained. That high-pressure atmosphere in the black market was even more suffocating than facing a demon beast head-on in the Mist Valley. But when I touched the still warm gray gourd in my arms, all fatigue vanished in an instant. That rusted broken sword and black stone I casually pushed aside. My gaze locked onto that half-palm-sized, netted, withered yellow wood chip. I took out the gray gourd, slowly brought it close to the chip. The closer the distance, the higher the temperature on the gourd's surface. When the 2 items were less than an inch apart, something incredible happened. No spiritual energy fluctuation, no blinding light. That dry, shriveled wood chip actually, as if alive, turned into a puddle of viscous, withered yellow liquid. It then, along the gray gourd's rough skin, drop by drop, seeped completely inside. In just a few breaths, the wood chip vanished entirely, fully merged into the gourd. On the surface, an extremely faint, withered yellow vine texture appeared. Before, it felt like cold gray stone. Now it carried a faint, elusive warmth, as if it had a weak pulse of life. Something that could cause the gourd to actively devour. Must be an ancient divine object of the same origin. That wood chip is 10 to 1 the remnant of some ancient spiritual vine. As long as it's an evolution, that's a huge blessing. Now it's time to verify the second trophy. I poured out that bottle of Peiyuan pills, bought for 50 low-grade spirit stones. Waste pills. There were still a few hours until nightfall. I closed my eyes and began to meditate. adjusting the spiritual power in my body to its peak state. Night fell. I placed the gray gourd at the spot on the windowsill where moonlight shone strongest, pulled out the stopper. The newly appeared vine texture suddenly lit up. This absorption speed of moonlight essence. Before it was like pulling silk from a cocoon. Now it's like a whale drinking water. So fast, in just the time of one incense stick. Previously, for waste pills like the stagnant smooth circulation pill, it took at least a whole night. Now it's shrunk to 1/10 of that. Is this the transformation after devouring that dead wood? 8 pills with not a trace of impurity lay quietly. They were even surrounded by a faint silver pill halo. Peak-grade Peiyuan pills. Even for a direct descendant of a major cultivation clan to break through, they might not be able to get an open supply of such peak-grade spiritual medicine. Success or failure hinges on this. The moment the pill entered my stomach, an unprecedented violent purity, vast spiritual power exploded within my dantian. Too fierce, even though I was mentally prepared. The medicinal power of this peak-grade Peiyuan pill still exceeded the limit my meridians could bear. The violent tearing pain made me tremble. A fine layer of blood beads instantly oozed from my skin. Suppress it. Risking the danger of my meridians breaking inch by inch, I unhesitatingly activated the incomplete fire control art. Using it as furnace fire, the fire control art forcibly compressed, guided them, turning into an extremely condensed torrent of spiritual power. Once, twice, 3 times, I don't know how many times I charged. My consciousness even started to blur. Black blood flowed from all 7 apertures, just at the moment I was about to hold on no longer. That obstruction finally, under the double pressure, collapsed completely. The originally narrow meridians instantly widened more than 3-fold. The dantian vortex spun wildly. The originally gaseous spiritual power actually condensed into a few liquid spiritual droplets. Broke through to layer 7. Qi Condensation late stage. I felt the vast, ocean-like terrifying spiritual power inside my body. Now, if I encounter Hall Master Zhao of Qingmu Pavilion again, that Qi Condensation Layer 8 cultivator, even without using a sneak attack, I would dare to face him head-on. I could definitely cut him down with my sword. Over 4 years of forbearance. Over 4 years of living in hiding. From a mortal scrap about to be eliminated at any moment, to now stepping into Qi Condensation late stage. Finally, truly ascended to the ranks of mid-level combat power in Flying Cloud City. Qi Condensation late stage achieved. But the path to immortality has only just begun. In my storage pouch, there still lies a priceless century-red crystal Ganoderma. It's time to plan how to safely turn this hot potato into resources for foundation establishment. After the breakthrough, I spent a full 7 days before I could tame this violent spiritual power. The spiritual essence condensed at the core, the explosive power contained in these 3 drops of liquid, equals 10 of my previous fireball techniques. The penetrating power is astonishing. Casting speed is also twice as fast as before. The cut actually burned into glass crystal. Now, against that Hall Master Zhao, one direct move would make him perish, body and Dao extinguished. But I need to stay calm. To rush to Qi Condensation Layer 8, Layer 9, or even Foundation Establishment, I still need massive amounts of spirit stones and a top-tier technique. The wood spiritual Qi is too pure. The temperature in the room rose along with it. Century Red Crystal Ganoderma, a supplementary ingredient for Foundation Establishment pills. For those old monsters stuck at the perfect stage, it has fatal allure. This thing is too hot to handle. If I dared to take it to an open stall, those red-robed rogue cultivators would tear me apart the moment I stepped out. Might even attract a Foundation Establishment expert. I can only get rid of it through official channels. Dark Fragrance Pavilion's grand auction has a trustworthy reputation. As long as I give enough commission, they'll even protect the seller. This time I deliberately let a bit of my fire poison aura leak. A powerful, bad-tempered old monster. That's my new persona. Show my fangs. That's more effective here than playing the fool. 100 spirit stones, entrance fee. The Treasure Appraisal Pavilion can block all divine sense, detecting Qi Condensation Layer 9 peak. This appraiser is not simple. Fellow Taoist, your face is unfamiliar. Coming to Treasure Appraisal Pavilion, do you have some rare item to consign? Take a look. This is Crimson Gold Branch. Look at the age and maturity. At least 200 years. 200 years, Shopkeeper Liu. That old fox even fooled me. This is clearly top grade. You have some discernment. This item qualifies for that grand auction, right? Yes, absolutely. Fellow Taoist, Dark Fragrance Pavilion is willing to offer 2,000 low-grade spirit stones. Outright purchase. How about it? 2,000 stones. I've worked hard and saved for 4 years. Only saved a little over 400. This old man opens his mouth, and it's 2,000. No, a buyout price is at least 30% lower than the final auction price. Not selling. Put it on auction. Consignment sale. Commission is 10%. Fellow Taoist, what would you like in exchange? Spirit stones or an item? An item. I only want half in spirit stones. For the other half, I want a top-tier cultivation technique. Not only must it conceal cultivation, it must also block foundation establishment divine sense. Also, if you have any foundation establishment pill scraps or discarded pills, they can be used as credit. Without a powerful aura concealing technique, I'll eventually expose the gray gourd secret. Top-tier aura concealing techniques are rare. But coincidentally, there is a remnant scroll of the withered tree spring return art. Meets the requirements. As for foundation establishment pills, such divine items, that depends on the fellow Taoist's luck. This is a VIP Jade token. Enter at midnight 3 days from now with this token. Heaven-numbered private room. Fellow Taoist Crimson Crystal Ganoderma. Our dark fragrance pavilion accepts it. I'll come again in 3 days. 3 days of waiting. Feels longer than 3 years of farming at Greenwood Sect. I didn't even leave the courtyard. Spent it all familiarizing myself with Qi Condensation Layer 7 spiritual power, and repeatedly rehearsing escape routes for the auction. On the 3rd day, late night, midnight, I held that purple gold token, smoothly passed through dark fragrance pavilion's layers of guards. This time I didn't stop in the outer hall. Followed the maid along a hidden passage. Directly went up to heaven number 3 private room on the 2nd floor. The room wasn't big, but extremely luxurious. Floor paved with earth core warm jade. 10,000-year aloes wood tables and chairs. Even the spirit fruits for guests were unseen elsewhere. Distinguished guest. This one-way glass lets you see everything downstairs clearly, but outside can absolutely not detect inside. If you want to bid, simply channel spiritual power into this sound-transmitting jade. Downstairs, nearly 1,000 masked rogue cultivators sat packed together. 2nd floor, 10 heaven-numbered rooms. 30 earth-numbered rooms. Sitting in these rooms, I'm afraid, are all the major cultivation families, and big shots from sects. That old man who received me that day walked onto the stage. But the aura he released at that moment made my pupils sharply contract. Foundation establishment. That old man had hidden his cultivation that day. This pressure instantly stunned the entire hall. I am Wood Sage, chief appraiser of Dark Fragrance Pavilion. Without further ado, this grand auction now begins. Top-grade defensive artifact, Golden Light Mystic Turtle Shield, starting price 800. Low-grade Spirit Stones, minimum bid increment 50. 900, 1000. Top-grade artifact. The best flying sword I have is only mid-grade. The appetizer sold directly for a sky-high price of 1,300 stones. That huge sum of a little over 400 stones I was so proud of doesn't even cover a fraction here. The next half hour completely overturned my understanding. Every item's final price was over 2,000 spirit stones. I forced myself to calm down. I came here for a cultivation technique. Can't let external things dazzle my eyes. The next item is somewhat special. Ancient aura concealing secret technique remnant. Withered tree spring return art. Once this secret technique is mastered, it can perfectly simulate one's aura as a piece of dead wood. Even late foundation establishment divine sense finds it hard to detect. But it is a remnant scroll. To forcibly cultivate it, unless one possesses the extremely rare heaven spiritual root, or has refined some ancient wood-type spiritual object as a medium. Otherwise, forcing it will only cause meridians to wither and die. A heaven spiritual root appears once in centuries. Ancient wood-type spiritual objects are even more legendary. This thing is practically a chicken rib. Useless. But I was sitting in the private room. My heart felt like it had been brutally struck by a heavy hammer, pounding wildly. Ancient wood-type spiritual object. 20 days ago, my gourd had just swallowed a fragment suspected to be an ancient spirit vine. The gourd now had an extra raging yellow vine pattern. Is there a more perfect medium in this world? This remnant scroll is practically tailor-made for me. Starting price, 500 low-grade spirit stones. Minimum bid increment 50. Bidding begins. Dead silence. Nobody wants to spend 500 spirit stones on a piece of trash that will cultivate you to death. 500 spirit stones. I'll buy it to prop up my table leg. It counts as an antique. 600. Humph, 700. Friend in the heaven-numbered room. It's just a remnant scroll. Why compete with me? Humph, I only have a little over 400 in my pocket. But I have the purple gold token and can overdraw. For a life-saving technique, I can afford this money. 1,000. The entire hall gasps. Spending 1,000 spirit stones on a chicken rib. Either mad or too rich. A disciple burning money. The private room backed down, no longer following the bid. 1,000 low-grade spirit stones sold. Congratulations to heaven number 3 private room. Distinguished guest, distinguished guest. Your withered tree spring return art. These spirit stones will be directly deducted from your final auction proceeds. Put it down, close the door. I couldn't wait to probe it with my divine sense. This is a top-level secret technique far beyond my understanding. With this, my biggest weakness can finally be patched. Everyone, the next item is one of the grand finale treasures of this grand auction. I dare guarantee that all Qi Condensation Great Perfection fellow Taoists, and even Foundation Establishment seniors will go crazy for it. 200-year maturity, top-grade tonic, century red crystal Ganoderma. Starting price 2,000. Low-grade spirit stones. Minimum bid increment 100. 2,500, 2,800, 3,000. In just a dozen breaths, broke through 3,000 barrier. The row cultivators on the first floor are all done. Now it's just the immortals battling in the second floor rooms. 3,500 stones. Our Wong family wants this crimson crystal Ganoderma. Please, everyone, give us face. Oof, old monster Wong. Your trash grandson has been stuck at Qi Condensation Layer 9 for 5 years. Eating this divine medicine would be a waste. For 1,000 stones. For 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. This huge sum is enough to buy a top-tier cave dwelling in the inner city. Or raise a 100-man late Qi Condensation Guard team. For 1,500 stones, sold. Congratulations to heaven number 1 private room. As the hammer fell, I felt all my strength drained. I've struck it rich, but it also means extreme danger. As soon as it ended, I crushed the jade. Mate immediately took me to the deepest secret room of Dark Fragrance Pavilion. Fellow Taoist, here is your proceeds after deductions. Crimson Crystal Ganoderma, 4,500 stones. Deduct 10%. Commission 450 stones. Then deduct the 1,000 stones for purchasing the Withered Tree Spring Return Art. The remaining 3,050 low-grade spirit stones are all in there. For ease of carrying, I took the liberty to convert 3,000 of them into 30 mid-grade spirit stones. Consider it a token of sincerity from Dark Fragrance Pavilion in befriending you. The official exchange rate is 1:100, but in the black market, a single one can often be exchanged for 110 or more. 30 mid-grade, 50 low-grade, not a single one short. Thank you. Please arrange a completely safe secret passage. I don't want any tails. This is a random teleportation array. It will send you to the outer city, into any dry well within 30 li. Taoist friend, may your path be ever verdant. You are always welcome to return. A flash of white light. An intense sense of weightlessness hit. The illusory fragrance pavilion was left far behind. When I smelled the outer city's dirt again, mixed with the odor of cheap medicinal herbs, I was already in a dead-end alley. I didn't dare go straight back to Willow Tree Lane. I made 4 huge detours, changed clothes 5 times, and even disguised myself as a shit-carrying mortal. Only then did I slip back into the courtyard just before dawn. I locked the door from inside, activated the formation plate, collapsed onto the bed. My heart is still pounding wildly. 30 mid-grade spirit stones and a top-tier aura concealing technique. 7 years of hidden endurance, walking on thin ice. Today I finally got the richest reward. But I know, it's not yet time to fully relax. I took out the jade slip fragment, probed with my spiritual sense, and held the gray gourd fused with deadwood in my palm. Old friend, it's up to you. I took a deep breath and began to circulate along that obscure route. The moment my layer, 7 spiritual power, made 1 cycle, a deadly obstruction and exhaustion hit directly. My vitality felt forcibly drained away. This is the price of forcefully practicing a fragmentary technique. Just as I was about to give out, the gourd shook. That vine-like texture suddenly lit up. An extremely pure, ancient, life-brimming wood attribute aura surged in violently through my palm. It instantly neutralized the draining sensation, taking the lead, and brought my spiritual power into perfect alignment with the technique's trajectory. 1 cycle, 2 cycles, great heavenly cycles. I don't know how long passed. The first ray of sunlight shone into the room. If anyone probed me with spiritual sense right now, they would absolutely see a piece of lifeless deadwood. No spiritual power, no breath. Even my blood and Qi are hidden completely. I moved my mind, and my aura began to shift freely. Mortal, Qi Condensation Layer 1. Qi Condensation Layer 3. Until it settled steadily at Qi Condensation Layer 4. Flawless. Even that Foundation Establishment Senior Mu from earlier, standing right in front of me, could never see through my true cultivation at Qi Condensation Layer 7. Done. With the gray gourd in hand, and more than 30 mid-grade spirit stones, a huge fortune, my cultivation reached Qi Condensation later stage. I mastered the astonishingly powerful flame control art, and the perfect withered wood spring art. From a low-level handyman living day-to-day to now a wealthy, Qi Condensation Layer stage cultivator. Every step of this mortal's cultivation path has been heart-stopping, but I've also advanced step by step, fortifying my position. Watching those foundation establishment cultivators flying lights in the sky. Before, I only felt awe and numbness. But now, my eyes hold only calm and a burning ambition. Flying Cloud City can no longer trap me. This vast, boundless southern domain cultivation world. That lofty foundation establishment realm. Even the elusive core formation great path. Wen Wu is coming for you. That blow was really vicious. Half my body was smashed into the mud. A Qi condensation great circle against a foundation establishment early stage. My internal organs nearly shattered. Run. Why aren't you running now? A mere ant at Qi condensation great circle. You dared to covet this master's chosen jade mouth heavenly doll? Senior, this junior knows his mistake. The treasure is yours. Please just treat me like a fart, and let me go? I'm best at playing dead. Supreme Aura Concealment Art. Maxed out. Let spiritual power drop straight to Qi Condensation Layer 1. Begging for mercy now? Too late. This master loves to rip the souls from self-righteous rogue cultivators like you, refine them into suffering. Withered wood spring art. Wood transmutes to fire. This is the killing move I've deduced day and night for 5 years. Supreme Aura Concealment Art. Compressed spiritual power. Explode for me. What the hell is that? Wait, a rogue cultivator at Qi Condensation. I actually managed to cross realms and kill a foundation establishment early stage master. If I went back to over 5 years ago, when I just bought the withered wood spring art at Flying Cloud Black Market and broke through to Qi Condensation Layer 7, I wouldn't have dared to think I could cross a major realm and assassinate a foundation establishment cultivator. Back then I had just saved up 30 mid-grade spirit stones and thought I could peacefully coast to foundation establishment. But in the second month after breaking through to Qi Condensation Layer 7, something huge happened in the southern domain. Inner-city families frantically sold off their assets. Pills and talismans quintupled in price over 10 days. In the outer city's herb alley, over 100 low-level rogue cultivators vanished overnight. All forcibly conscripted, I used the small city's withered wood spring art to disguise myself as a log. Sneaked into the wind listener pavilion to eavesdrop, and only then learned that the demonic Bone Sect had allied with rebel clans and was besieging the city. Within 3 months at most, all rogue cultivators would end up as soul banners for the demonic cultivators. Hearing this news, I abandoned the 3 years' rent I'd just paid, left the newly brewed spirit wine behind, and had only one word: run. A gentleman does not stand under a crumbling wall. That survival rule had been carved into my bones since my days farming at Greenwood Sect. That night, I dug out all my spirit stones and waste pills, stowed the gray gourd close to my body, used disguise powder and silver needles to turn myself into a half-dead, 60-year-old man. Then I forked over a sky-high price of 10 mid-grade spirit stones. Bought a low-deck steerage ticket to the Starfall Archipelago. No rules there. Lots of demon beasts, but the richest resources. The day I fled Flying Cloud City, rain was pouring down in sheets. I hid among the refugee crowd, straining to suppress my Qi Condensation Layer stage spiritual power. Disguising myself as a Qi Condensation Layer 2 waste. Name and cultivation. Reason for leaving the city. Old man's son ergo. Qi Condensation Layer 2. Can't stay in Flying Cloud City anymore. Just want to go back to the mortal countryside and wait to die. A waste about to enter the grave. Get lost. Don't block the city gate. 10 li outside the city gate. That handyman from Greenwood Sect, Wen Wu the Flying Cloud City rogue cultivator, was truly dead. Boarding the wave-breaking flying boat. This mortal's path to the stars truly began. As expected from a Bone Sect Foundation establishment elder. Over 100 mid-grade spirit stones alone. Low-grade spirit stones piled into a mountain. Top-grade magical artifacts scattered all over. Jade Marrow Heaven's Eye. One of the 3 main ingredients for refining the foundation establishment pill. This is the sole reason I risked death to enter the Crimson Blood secret realm. With this, plus the other 2 main herbs I collected over the past 5 years in the Star Sea, my foundation establishment ingredients are all complete. As long as I toss the herbs into the gray gourd to ripen and purify, even with my lousy 5-element inferior spiritual root, I'll use a top-grade foundation establishment pill to forcibly smash open that heavenly gate. I had just stuffed that blood-robed old ghost storage pouch into my pocket. Barely had time to catch my breath when the sky suddenly changed. Who dares kill a Bone Sect blood cloud true transmission elder? This master will tear out your soul and refine it into torment. Cast you into the blood sea for eternity. A core formation, old monster. My scalp exploded. I was so scared I didn't even dare raise my head. I smashed back into the mud at the bottom of the pit. Withered wood spring art, turned to death shut down. Pour stop, heartbeat stops. Blood halt too. Let's see if you, this core formation old monster, can recognize this rotten piece of wood. That old monster's divine sense was like a rusted saw, scraping across my brain. If I showed even a hint of fear, I'd be exposed on the spot. I held on for a full half hour, until the secret realm's laws rejected him. That old freak finally got squeezed out. So close. I almost left my 100-odd pounds of flesh right there. This place isn't safe to stay. I tore my clothes, smeared on some crimson bloodvine juice, disguised myself as heavily wounded. This is how you survive at the bottom. A spatial shift, and a thick smell of seawater hit me. This is one of the outermost transit islands of the Starfall archipelago. Everywhere I looked, unlucky bastards in torn robes. No one gave a second glance at a wounded rogue cultivator like me. I spent 2 low-grade spirit stones, crowded onto a beat-up or transport boat, and bobbed around the Star Sea for 3 days. Finally reached Blackrock Island, the slums of the Nebula archipelago. Even the air is thick with acrid sulfur. No high-grade spirit veins here, just fugitives and unregistered folk. But for me, it's the perfect hideout. The spider silk is intact. The underground alarm, the miasma trap, and the 3 linked formation plates are all undisturbed. Before entering safely, always assume 3 bandit cultivators are hiding inside. That's the iron rule for survival in the Star Sea. I made it out alive. Now it's time for me to rewrite my fate. As expected of a Foundation establishment cultivator, this storage pouch is as big as a room. 120 mid-grade spirit stones. Over 20,000 low-grade ones. They even have a wave-piercing shuttle that can navigate the Star Sea. But none of that interests me now. Jade Marrow Celestial Lotus, one of the 3 main Foundation establishment ingredients. Only 3 spiritual patterns on the surface, about 320 years old. To guarantee a successful pill, the main ingredients must be at least 500 years old. Even with heavenly luck, 300-year-old herbs produce nothing but waste. Let alone the fact that I'm a waste with a 5-element false spiritual root. Not enough years. No matter. Time has never been something I lacked in this life, ever since I swallowed that fragment of ancient withered vine. This gray gourd can do more than just purify pills. Now it has one heaven-defying new ability, ripening. Inside, I've saved up a full 5 drops of creation spirit liquid. 1 drop equals 100 years of herbal essence. In 5 years, I never used a drop, even when badly wounded. Absorb 500 years worth of herbal essence for me. Still not safe enough. Pour in the remaining 3 drops too. 700 years of herbal essence. Take that to a Star Sea auction, and it'd bankrupt even a golden core old monster, a supreme heavenly treasure, earthly treasure. The poison herb turned into a 600-year purple gold flower. I nearly had my back flesh ripped off by a demon beast to snatch it. The 600-year heavenly spirit fruit killed the heir of a cultivation clan to grab the 3 main herbs, 42 auxiliary ingredients, all gathered. A 9-yen dragon pattern cauldron custom-made for 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. Anyone else assembling this set of materials would have to beg an alchemy grandmaster like a grandson. But I, Wen Wu, don't need that. I don't know alchemy techniques. I can't control the fusion of medicinal properties either. Others fear the cauldron exploding, fear divine medicine turning into poison waste. But I exactly wanted to turn into complete waste. Thus began my 100-day seclusion. The day I break through, the lightning tribulation will descend, and a dragon will soar across the Star Sea. Refining a true immortal pill requires peak talent and hundreds of hand seals, plus knowing the essentials. But me making a waste pill? That's simple and crude. The 600-year Jade Marrow Celestial Lotus is water-aligned. The purple gold flower carries poison. The heavenly spirit fruit is pure fire. I directly use the flame control art to twist these 3 mutually opposing, terrifying medicinal materials together like dough, twisted into one. If any orthodox alchemist were here, seeing me waste 600-year spiritual herbs like this, they'd probably cough blood and die of rage. Such domineering toxicity. It can even corrode my spiritual power shield perfectly. The impurities and fire poison from the 3 main herbs and 42 auxiliary ingredients are all kneaded into this lump of mud. The king of poisons, the ultimate waste pill, is complete. For the next few days, I did nothing at all. I just focused on pushing my essence, energy, and spirit to their peak. Because I had a premonition. This time, the gray gourd's purification would definitely make a huge commotion. 5 days later, on the night of the full moon. Before, absorbing moonlight was like a whale drinking water. This time, it was outright plunder. Shit, the commotion is too big. The 3 isolation formations I buried didn't even last 10 breaths before they all exploded. This heavenly phenomenon can't be hidden. A full half-hour later. The purification was over. 9 mark foundation establishment pill, top quality. And there are cloud patterns on it. Even 3 marks are rare. 9 marks only exist in myths. I did it. I actually did it. I've been looking for you so hard. A little mouse that could kill my blood cloud elder. And even erase the blood demon, soul-seeking mark. I thought you were a golden core colleague, but you're just an ant at Qi Condensation Great Perfection. If not for that skyward phenomenon just now, triggering the last trace of resonance from the blood mark, you really would have gotten away. An immortal pill. Impossible. A mere rogue cultivator like you. How could you refine something so divine? Wen Wu, hand over what you're holding, and I'll let you keep a whole corpse. A violent storm. 3 foundation establishment cultivators setting up a killing formation. I was trembling with fear at first. But when there was no room to retreat, I suddenly stopped running. Who said I refined this? Ha ha ha. Humph. You brat, you dare kill him? Refine his flesh and soul together to extract the pill. The ingredients haven't scattered, still useful. But I couldn't care less about those scraps. Because the moment that immortal pill hit my stomach, my world changed. This wasn't medicine at all. It was a sun exploding inside my dantian. My meridians burst instantly. But the 600-year jade marrow celestial lotus's terrifying vitality forcibly reknit and expanded them. Heavenly tribulation? How is that possible? Only forbidden pills draw down lightning. Tribulation? A mere Qi condensation ant. How could he attract heavenly tribulation? It's that immortal pill. The divine pill draws heaven's envy. Fall back. Don't get locked by the heavenly Tao's lightning tribulation. Retreat. None of you are leaving today. Madman, do you have a death wish? Who charges into a crowd while dragging heavenly tribulation? It can't hold them long. No matter, 1 breath of delay is enough. Third brother, it's over. The gray gourd. He actually diverted 70% of the tribulation lightning. The remaining 30% of lightning, combined with the 9-mark pill. That's a baptism by the heavenly Tao. 5 elements. The last impurities of the false spiritual root. Shatter. Liquid spiritual sea. Foundation establishment. I finally crossed this chasm. 200 years of lifespan. Divine sense spans 10 li. You said earlier you'd refine me for the pill? Senior, spare me. Too late. Liquid true essence. This is real divine power. "30 years of mortal life. 5 years of life and death struggles. Today, I, Wen Wu, achieve foundation establishment. The wind and rain still rage on the cliff. But in my heart, it's as calm as the fathomless deep sea. Breaking through to foundation establishment feels great, but I can't stay on Blackrock Island. The commotion from that purple firmament lightning tribulation was too terrifying. All the high-level cultivators within 100 li must have sensed it. Who knows if those dead bastards from Bone Sect sent out a transmission talisman before they died. I have to leave immediately. Every rustle of grass within 20 li It's all under my divine senses control. Compared to this, the Qi Condensation stage is practically blind. The entire fortunes of 2 early Foundation establishment cultivators, plus that blood-robed old ghost's belongings. It's like looting the treasury of a small sect. No time to count the spoils. Flee first. Shuttle Pierce, top-grade travel tool. I'm counting on you. Forward 100 Zhong, 300, 500. Dive deep into the chaos star sea. The farther the better. Half an hour after I left, the high ranks of Bone Sect arrived. But no matter how they searched the mountains and seas, they couldn't find a single trace of me. Deep sea stealth voyage. No sight of the sun. I fled at the seabed for a full half-month, covering 50,000 li. Only when the mid-grade spirit stones ran dry did I stop in this dead zone where even beasts don't come. Dug a cave, set up an array, sealed off the seawater, concealed my aura. Only then was I truly safe. Finally had time to look at myself after Foundation establishment. Internal sight of Dantian, the previous deficiencies are gone, replaced by this deep, liquid spiritual sea. Every drop hides explosive power. Meridians widened several times. Tougher than beast sinew. The best part is the lifespan. I can feel this vitality, enough to live past 200. This is the confidence of a Foundation establishment cultivator. Why does this fire tribulation lightning have a thunder attribute? It blocked it for me. The gray gourd that weathered the purple firmament tribulation has changed. The vines turned silver green, and sparks are arcing. The space inside has expanded. Spirit absorption speed doubled. And I have a hunch that using creation spirit liquid to accelerate herbs will very likely cause mutations, imbuing them with lightning tribulation properties. What a treasure. Not only did it not get destroyed, it underwent nirvana and evolved. This is my greatest trump card for making a living in the star sea from now on. For the next 6 full months, I didn't set foot outside the seabed coral cave. Same routine, inventory the loot. Over 300 mid-grade spirit stones, 70,000 low-grade, plus a pile of top-grade artifacts and formation flags. But now I face an extremely awkward and fatal problem. A gap in my cultivation technique. That street stall greenwood art only goes up to Qi Condensation grade perfection. The withered wood spring art is just a concealment technique. I now have a Foundation establishment's vast true essence, but no technique to channel it. It's like a nouveau riche with boundless wealth. Who doesn't know how to spend it? Just letting it gather mold. If this continues, forget advancing. I might even regress. Can't keep hiding. I have to go to the holy city of the Star Domain Archipelago and get a top-tier wood or fire technique, a main cultivation method. After lying low for 6 months, the heat should have died down. Time to take on a new identity and witness the true splendor and cruelty of this star sea. Heavenly Star City, the #1 holy city of the Star Sea. It wasn't built on an island, but floats directly at the center of the endless star sea. Light shines for 10,000 li, diamond-shaped light screens fill the sky. It's like a celestial immortal's cave. But to enter, no matter how rich you are, you have to queue obediently at the reception island below. Make way, everyone. The entry fee is too expensive. Scram, scram, scram. No spirit stones. Then why come to Heavenly Star City? Move. All of you out of my way. A good dog doesn't block the path. That's the young master of the inner Siwang clan. I heard his grandfather is a core formation mid-stage grand cultivator. Shoo, don't stare. Careful, he throws you into the sea to feed the beasts. Senior? I don't even have a flying tool assembled, so I just walk down like this. Now my name is Luya, a lonely sword cultivator in his 40s. Senior, your esteemed presence. This junior is an outer sect steward of Heavenly Star City. I pay my respects to Senior. In the cultivation world, Foundation establishment is when you truly squeeze into the upper circles. Senior, this is the VIP pass for Heavenly Star City. Permanent waiver of entry fee. Direct access to the high-tier trading zone. May I ask if Senior is a permanent resident or just passing through? Permanent. Understood, Senior. Please take this special VIP passage. No queue, no formation check. Back in Flying Cloud City, I used to fret over even a single low-grade spirit stone. Now, just by revealing a sliver of my cultivation, those lofty rules all obediently make way for me. The spiritual energy in the inner city is suffocatingly dense. Even without cultivating, it seeps into your pores. Here, any random shopkeeper you grab is at Foundation Establishment. Senior Liu, what tier of cave dwelling would you like to rent? Cave dwelling? Imperial tier. At the foot of the mountain, 100 low-grade spirit stones a year. Heaven tier is on the summit of Spirit Mountain, with a 5th-order grand formation and earth-fire veins. But the price? The most remote and quiet Heaven tier cave. Here's 3 years' rent. Keep the change. 30 mid-grade spirit stones, 3,000 low-grade. Senior, please wait a moment. This junior will immediately process the highest access level for you. Earth-fire room, alchemy room, retail room, all fully equipped. First step settled. Done. Next, I need to liquidate the spirit stones in hand. Starsea Merchant Alliance's Grade A auction, with a top-tier main cultivation technique that leads straight to the Golden Core Dao. Appearing now, top-tier techniques are always the lifeline of great sects. This auction will definitely draw a bunch of old monsters fighting to the death. Looks like I need to get some mind-blowing bargaining chips. Oh. The trash spirit herbs left by those dead Bone Sect bastards. Time to turn trash into treasure, and let them reappear in the world. The junk in the Bone Sect Elder's storage pouch. Low-grade spirit herbs that can't even fetch a price at Heavenly Star City street stalls. Scraps from 50 to 100 years. But in my eyes, these are gold mines yet to be mined. Come on, let me see how heaven-defying you are after Nirvana. Rampant growth, outer skin shedding, remnants drilling into the jade like a prison cage. But that's not the most shocking part. The color changed, from dark red to an extremely eerie purple gold. Mutated, with natural lightning patterns. In the cultivation world, age is certainly important, but what really drives people crazy is mutation from extreme spiritual energy baptism. Blood Jade Ginseng, 500 years old, replenishes blood and Qi. Market price, 800 low-grade spirit stones. If baptized by heavenly thunder, mutates into purple gold Thunderbone Ginseng. Priceless, no market. Core formation old monsters would go mad for it. The one I have here is 1,000 years old. With the Grey Gourd, I essentially have a mass production line for mutated 1,000-year spirit herbs. But I can't be greedy. An ordinary man is innocent, but possessing jade is a crime. If I bring out too many, the nascent soul old monsters at Heavenly Star City will directly soul search me and take my treasures. Second herb, illusory thunder prophecy fruit. It can't boost cultivation, but it can make a female cultivator's appearance eternal, skin glowing. The women of those great clans will go crazy for it. That's enough. Just to exchange for the spirit stones, I need to bid on the top-tier technique. Sea Market Dragon. The largest secret trading ground in Heavenly Star City. It only recognizes treasures, asks no questions about provenance. The one who received me was a blind Foundation Establishment Great Perfection cultivator. But his divine sense was extremely strong. The moment I entered, he was scanning me. Greetings, Senior. Your arrival honors us. This junior has been presumptuous. May I ask if Senior wishes to sell spirit herbs, or spare the nonsense? 2 pieces of loot dug up from a deep-sea relic. See if you can handle them. This is a Thunder Attribute mutated 1,000-year Blood Jade Ginseng. The legendary purple gold Thunderbone Ginseng. Pure Thunder essence. Not a trace of impurity. This definitely survived a heavenly tribulation. A huge chunk of remnant top grade traded for a prophecy fruit. Senior, how do you intend to sell these 2 divine items? I urgently need spirit stones for auction bids. The upcoming grand auction in a few days. No low grade. Only accept mid-grade spirit stones or high-grade artifacts. If you name a price I'm not satisfied with, I'll turn around and head to the Duobao Pavilion across the street. Senior speaks plainly and quickly. This Thunderdrum sound plant is priceless for any old ancestor stuck at a bottleneck. We offer 2,000 mid-grade spirit stones. The prophecy fruit. The Alliance leader's wife has been offering a high reward. We offer 1,500. That's 3,500 mid-grade spirit stones total. 350,000 low-grade spirit stones could buy an entire minor sect. It seems 100 Herbs Hall's sincerity goes only this far. Senior, please wait. If I let such a top-grade item slip away, the boss would skin me alive. For 4,000 mid-grade spirit stones, plus a black gold VIP card from our hall. Future transactions exempt from commission. This is the limit I can mobilize. Deal. A full 4,000 stones. Vast spiritual energy had condensed into clouds inside the storage pouch, adding my previous 4,300 mid-grade spirit stones. Now I finally qualify to sit at the table and arm wrestle with those false core old monsters. Just after stepping out, a few discreet tails latched onto me. 100 Herbs Hall wanted to probe me, this false core old demon. They swept 3 full times. Didn't find even a single hair. Grumbling, they buggered off. Everything is ready. All that's missing is the east wind. The Star Sea Commerce Alliance's Grade A Grand Auction. I'll wait for you to open the game. An ordinary martial officer's face. Skin slightly pale from years without sunlight. This is the real me, Wen Wu. These past few days I've been pondering a deadly question. Should I keep using disguise and lying low in Skystar City? There are permanent core formation cultivators here. Even nascent soul ancestors. The inner city is packed with high-grade arrays that see through falsehood. Wearing a mask or using techniques to disguise oneself seems mysterious to Qi Condensation eyes. But to high-level cultivators, it's as conspicuous as carrying a torch in the dead of night. The perfect disguise is no disguise at all. I'm a low-level loose cultivator who fled from the southern domain. No one in the Star Domain archipelago knows Wen Wu. My real name and real face are a completely blank slate here. Since I've already stepped into Foundation establishment and have the right to walk in the sunlight, I'll show my real face. A frank, utterly unguarded early-stage loose cultivator is actually the least likely to arouse suspicion. Star Sea Commerce Alliance Grade A Grand Auction. Here, Foundation establishment is just the entry ticket. Fellow Taoists, the Star Sea Commerce Alliance Grade A Grand Auction now begins. The first half is all artifacts, arrayed discs, and pills. I remain unmoved. I've got over 4,000 mid-grade spirit stones stashed on me, aiming solely at a primary cultivation art that leads straight to core formation. Not until the auction reached the latter half. Alright. This is an ancient sword cultivator's Guiyi sword art. Everyone, look carefully. This is not an ordinary 5-element technique. It is an extremely rare, attribute-less, pure sword cultivator technique. Attribute-less? My 5-element spiritual root is shallow. Mixed cultivation with a single attribute is extremely slow and can even lead to Qi deviation. But this attribute-less technique that cultivates only sword Qi is practically tailor-made for me. However, this old man must be clear. This art's power is immense, but its cultivation conditions are extremely harsh. You must draw the extremely sharp energy of metal into your body, endure the agony of thousands of arrows piercing your heart, and forge the sword foundation. The slightest mistake, and your meridians snap, killing you. 1,000 mid-grade spirit stones. Each bid must increase by no less than 50 stones. 1,000 mid-grade. It empties 3 early Foundation establishment cultivators. The backlash of 1,000 piercing arrows makes those who cling to life simply give up. 1,100. 1,200. Let it ride. 1,300. 1,500. Any more? 2,000. Countless divine senses swept over me unabashedly. I did not dodge or avoid. Probe all you want. My true Qi was steady, my heartbeat undisturbed. A plain-looking early-stage loose cultivator just casually threw down 2,000 mid-grade spirit stones without blinking. This contrast only made them think that I have a core formation old monster backing me. A steel plate not worth provoking. 2,000 mid-grade spirit stones. Going once at 2,000. Going twice. Third time sold. Manual acquired. My Foundation establishment path is finally paved. Back at my cave dwelling, I went into seclusion for a full half-month, studying day and night. The Guiyi sword art. It is indeed an overwhelmingly domineering technique, using the human body's meridians as a sword sheath, converting spiritual power into sword Qi. But soon I hit a bottleneck. To begin, I must absorb high-grade metal energy to forge the sword foundation. The ores sold in the city have too impure an aura. If I use them to build my foundation, my entire future would be ruined. I need naturally occurring, utterly pure, sharp objects. There are 3 cultivators standing outside, the leading man, late Foundation establishment, and 1 man and 1 woman, mid-Foundation establishment. Taoist one, are you home? I am Su Kuang. Apologies for the intrusion. Su Kuang, I don't know him, but I have no fear. This is the inner city. Even if he had 100 guts, he wouldn't dare force his way in. What business do the 3 of you have with one? We seem to be strangers. Haha. Taoist one speaks bluntly. Half a month ago, when you splurged thousands of gold on the Guiyi sword art, Su is deeply impressed. You must be, right now, racking your brain for metal energy to forge the sword foundation. Am I right? So what if I am? Taoist one, no need to be tense. Our reason for coming is to offer you a stroke of fortune. To be honest, half a year ago, in a deep-sea trench 30,000 li away, we discovered an ancient ruin. It's called the Sunken Grievance Sword Tomb. A vast amount of natural stellar sword essence has condensed there on the seabed. Using that to forge the sword foundation for the Guiyi sword art would be an absolutely perfect match. Stellar sword essence? It's recorded in the 100 Herbs Compendium, a metal attribute treasure of utmost purity. Since there's such a treasure ground, why don't the 3 of you go retrieve it yourselves? Why come looking for a stranger like me, an early-stage cultivator. This kind of pie-in-the-sky offer in the immortal cultivation world is a death warrant. Taoist one, there's something you don't know. The entrance is sealed by a 4-symbol severing array. This array is extremely special. It requires 4 cultivators, 1 each from early, mid, and late foundation establishment, to simultaneously inject spiritual power and open it. We're short 1 early-stage cultivator with a solid foundation. Ordinary early-stage cultivators have too weak an aura. They can't withstand the array's draw. But you, at the auction, faced high-level pressure. Without changing your expression, your foundation is absolutely solid. Watertight. The logic is tight. And they even threw in a compliment for me. Really, just to open the array? If we actually enter the ruin, they could crush me like an ant. Yes, just like an ant. In their eyes, I'm a tool, and even more so, a mobile treasure vault carrying 2,000 mid-grade spirit stones. But that's stellar sword essence. Without it, I might not even be able to start for years. Even if I can't kill Su Kuang of Foundation Establishment late stage. To kill in a dungeon, you don't need to do it yourself. But let's get this straight beforehand. I want 30% of the stellar sword marrow inside. The other treasures, each relies on their own skill. Refreshing. Little brother one is indeed a man who understands. 3 days from now, meet at dawn at West Harbor. These 3 days, you can go prepare some water-repelling and defensive artifacts, little brother. Since you want to use me as a tool, then let's see who ends up stepping on whom. For the next 3 days, I didn't buy any defensive artifacts. I went to the darkest black market shop, spent a fortune on a batch of extremely obscure beast-attracting incense. Then used the gray gourd to force ripen a few plants overnight, deadly toxic seaweeds that can temporarily paralyze. Crush them, ground them into my dozen top-grade explosive talismans. Going into a dungeon without bringing some dirty tricks. How could I live up to their warm invitation? 30,000 li into the deep sea. The light had already been completely devoured by darkness. Su Kuang, Lunyang, and that always silent Taishan. I sat in the corner, suppressing my foundation establishment early-stage presence to the minimum. Along the way, Su Kuang showed me great concern. But I could feel the way Taishan looked at me, like he was looking at a dead man. We're here. A bronze giant gate 100 zhang tall. For symbols intercepting array formation. Little brother, you take the azure dragon. Taishan, the white tiger. Lunyang, the vermilion bird. I'll take the black tortoise. On my command, inject spiritual power simultaneously. Open. An extremely sharp sword Qi burst from the crack in the gate. Such pure sword Qi. There must be stellar sword marrow inside. Without making a sound, I flicked a trace of colorless, odorless beast-attracting incense powder onto Taishan's heel. The seawater was blocked by the formation. Broken swords and white bones everywhere. A late-stage 12th rank armored water rhino, equivalent to Foundation Establishment middle stage. Everyone be careful. I deliberately suppressed my spiritual power, perfectly playing the role of a Foundation Establishment early stage lacking attack power. Brother one, fall back. Let me handle it. Haha. Thank you, Brother Su, for saving my life. We're brothers. No need for formalities. But my heart was ice cold. I clearly saw them exchange a glance. An hour later. Stellar sword marrow. But in front of the altar, coiled a silver-horned sword python. Damn it, the intelligence didn't mention a silver-horned sword python here. This aura, half-step false core. After a brief dead silence, the moment of truth had arrived. Brother one, this sword python has poor eyesight. It relies on its sense of smell. I need someone to go to the left and attack with full force. Lure it away. Shi, Taishan, and Lunyang have already sealed off my escape. The moment I say no, they'll strike immediately. All right. Since Brother Su says so, I'll naturally be the bait. Just let me get the sword. Then don't forget my share, brother. He knows his place, humph. Too bad he can't even last 3 breaths. Get ready to grab the sword marrow. These aren't attack talismans. They're explosive talismans laced with deadly toxic seaweed. I didn't throw them at the beast. Instead, I flicked my wrist backwards. Wen Wu, you're asking for death. Detonate. Boom. The explosive high heat instantly ignited the beast-attracting incense I'd flicked onto his heel. It went berserk and abandoned me, opening its bloody maw and furiously lunging at Taishan. Big brother, save me. You dare. But I had already suppressed my aura to the extreme, slipping around the battlefield like a ghost, easily reaching the unattended altar. Brother Su, I'll take the sword marrow first. You two have fun. Wen Wu, I'll kill you. A flash of blue light. And I completely vanished into the dust fate's sword. Ah, a high-grade water escape talisman. In one breath, fleeing over 100 li. I was randomly teleported to a dark undersea rock cave. The water pressure here was intense. A Qi Condensation cultivator would be crushed to paste instantly. I immediately set up 2 concealing arrays and 1 warning array. Sat cross-legged, thinking back on that Su Kuang. Truly an old hand. When encountering a false core beast, his first instinct was to use me as cannon fodder. Too bad, those who scheme against others will always be schemed against in turn. Stellar sword marrow. Just holding it in my hand, the restrained gung metal sharpness pierced my palm until it bled. With this, the first step of the Guiyi sword art becomes possible. Can't return to Sky Star City now. If Su Kuang escapes and blocks me, the trouble would be huge. The safest move is to refine it on the spot, boost my strength. Draw the essence metal Qi into the body. Shatter the meridians, forge the sword foundation. The moment it entered my body, I understood what 10,000 arrows piercing the heart felt like. This wasn't flowing through. It was cutting, twisting. But I underestimated the tyranny of the ancient sword art. It fiercely rejected the waste spiritual root inside me. If I let it destroy freely, within half an instant stick, my meridians would be severed everywhere. Since you want to destroy, then I'll use something even more overbearing to reshape: vitality. 500-year purple gold thunder, sound bamboo. Diluted creation spirit water, containing vitality of blood and Qi, and the tyranny, the lightning power that overcomes heavenly tribulation. Vast vitality began to forcibly heal the meridians. Even more wondrous, the tribulation lightning turned out to be the natural nemesis of this stellar sword Qi. It became docile. Perfect timing. Success. 1 drop of sword Qi took shape. With the first success, the rest of the process became an endless cycle of pain and rebirth. I secluded myself here for a full 2 months, without sleep or rest, enduring 1,000 cuts. Until 2 months later. This is my life-bound sword foundation. Such terrifying power. No startup, instant activation. If I face that false core giant python again, with the sharpness of thunder sound sword Qi, I can definitely break its scales and escape unscathed. Even more surprising, after destruction comes creation. My cultivation was completely stabilized at foundation establishment early stage peak. Only a thin layer of paper separates me from foundation establishment middle stage. Time to return to Sky Star City. I wonder if Su Kuang and the others are dead yet. Return to Sky Star City. I didn't go straight to the inner city. I went to a rogue cultivator tea house in the outer city. In the cultivation world, often intelligence can save lives better than magic treasures. Have you heard? Bloodhammer Su Kuang of the inner city put out a sky-high bounty a few days ago. Wanted for a rogue cultivator at early stage named Wen Wu. Supposedly, that kid screwed Su Kuang over in the Dust Fate ruins. Both of the middle stage cultivators Su Kuang brought died. Su Kuang himself barely escaped with half his life, using a blood escape secret art. An early stage screwing over a late stage. Did this Wen Wu grow 3 extra guts? Su Kuang indeed didn't die. The foundation of a foundation establishment late stage is truly hard to kill. Still, losing 2 middle stage and the sword marrow must have made him cough blood. He put out a bounty to find me, clearly guessing I'd hide back under the rules of Sky Star City. Under its protection, if you want to find me, then find to your heart's content. I didn't disguise myself, didn't change my face. As if strolling in my own courtyard. This is the confidence of Sky Star City. Let alone a mere foundation establishment cultivator. Late stage. Even a core formation old monster wouldn't dare fight privately here. Otherwise, the Celestial Star Merchant Alliance's enforcement guards would teach him a lesson. Watching those informants, I knew Su Kuang would definitely flip the table in rage. Angry as he was, he could do nothing to me. Back at the cave dwelling, I began to plan the path ahead. Sword Art Foundation, Practical Combat Cushion. But cultivation is stuck at early stage peak. With my false spiritual root, hard cultivation would take at least another 20 to 30 years. I can't wait that long. I need to refine the azure water green lotus pill. The main ingredient must be azure water green lotus of at least 300 years. This spiritual herb only grows deep within extremely deep water eyes. I don't need a sky-high priced finished product. Easily attracts attention. I only need one lotus seed or a seedling. Leave the rest to him. 2 days later, I arrived at the large shop in the inner city, 100 Herbs Pavilion. Senior Wen, you really know how to trouble this junior. Lotus seeds of the azure water green lotus. As soon as these appear, alchemy masters snatch them all up. This shop is indeed out of stock. However, if Senior truly needs it urgently, this junior does have a way. I'm in a hurry. Half a month later, the Celestial Star Merchant Alliance has a large trade caravan, going to the Water Eyes in the Misty region to pick azure water green lotus. The caravan steward is my cousin. Is short of a few Foundation establishment guest elders who cause no trouble and have solid combat strength. If Senior comes along, not only will the reward be generous, you can also have priority to trade for one lotus seed at cost price. What do you think? Su Kuang is outside the city. That old dog has certainly set an inescapable trap outside. But I'm aboard the Celestial Star Merchant Alliance's giant sea vessel. Even if he had 10 times the guts, he wouldn't dare assault an official fleet. If I don't go for a breakthrough, the plan will be shelved indefinitely. You can register me. My name is Wen Wu. Remember, I'm only responsible for escort duty. I won't meddle in other miscellaneous matters. Hey, Senior, rest assured. My cousin likes experts like you who follow rules the most. Walking back to the cave dwelling, I felt the gray gourd in my arms. Su Kuang, if you try to stop me outside the city, you'd better pray you don't meet me. Otherwise, I won't mind borrowing a blade to send you off again. Half a month later, Celestial Star City's East Harbor. The Celestial Star Merchant Alliance's giant sea vessel, Wave Rider. I did not hide my cultivation level, boarded as an escort guest elder. Oh, so this is brother when recommended by 100 Herbs Pavilion? I am Sun Fuguwei, the steward for this voyage. Manager son, you're too polite. Just doing my job for the money. Honggu, Foundation Establishment Early Stage. Taisho, Foundation Establishment Mid Stage. Brother Wen looks so gentle and refined. If you actually run into a sea beast, don't be so scared your legs get weak, okay? The first 10 days went extremely smoothly. Occasionally encountered low-grade sea beasts. Qi Condensation guards dealt with them using ballistae. But I have a quirk. In unfamiliar surroundings, I never trust the surface calm. Every deep night, I would compress my spiritual sense and silently cover the entire ship. Until the 13th day, the cargo hold in the ship's bottom had a faint soundproof barrier. I activated the Withered Tree Revival art to mask my aura. Extremely carefully listened in on Manager Sun. The route is off course. This isn't the route to the Mist Sea. Where's the profit on the regular route? The employer sent word, told us to detour through the Skeleton Bone Sect. The Skeleton Bone Sect is an infamous den of rogue bandit cultivators. You're taking a cargo of 100,000 spirit stones to a death trap. The boss wants to use this cargo as bait to lure out the head of the Skeleton Bone Sect. If we really meet the bandit cultivators, Hong Mei and that Wen Wu are cannon fodder to be sacrificed. As long as they hold out for the time it takes to burn one incense stick, the boss will close the net. After it's done, you and I can each get 20,000 spirit stones and a realm-breaking pill. Let's do it. But that Wen Wu is too composed. A bit strange. An early-stage rogue cultivator with no connections. When we reach the Skeleton Bone Sect, I have my ways to cut off his retreat, using me as cannon fodder. I'm not interested. I don't care about your dog-eat-dog schemes. But I boarded the ship for that lotus seed. Since you want to play, I'll play along to the very end. I don't kill above my realm. Doesn't mean I can't stir up trouble. 2 days later, early morning. All hands, be on guard. Entering the edge of the Mist Sea. Beware of sea beasts. Yeah. Kill all the men. Take the women. This fat prey is ours. The skeleton bones are here. Brother 1, Honggu, follow me to meet the enemy. Block that guy with the axe. Ahaha. You want to use me as cannon fodder? Then let's see who the real hunter is today. Pretty boy, die. 3 Qi Condensation, Great Circle Cultivators. Well coordinated. Without any spiritual power leaking out. Pure explosion of physical strength. Third brother, how is this possible? Hand-to-hand combat is terrifying. The real show has just begun. clean and decisive. No hesitation or delay. I didn't even pick up the storage pouch, because my spiritual sense had already locked onto them. Manager's son, Brother Tai, save me. They really are using us as bait, holding back the bandits so they can go do their dirty work. Want to go grab the goods? Then they have to ask if I allow it. The biggest taboo in a dungeon is to directly confront the big boss. Fishing in troubled waters is the true path. Scum of the skeleton Bone Sect. This old man has been waiting for you a long time. Hai Lao of the Celestial Star Merchant Alliance. You actually hit on the ship. Old Hai, do you really think you can protect this catch? Die? Here's my chance. I lurked like an inanimate object. Silently slipped through the large hole into the bottom level. Black Jade Box. High-grade seal. So this is what Hai Lao was personally guarding. Azure Water Green Lotus. Who goes there? Put it down. Want the thing? Go fish it out of the sea. Fine. Wen Wu, you madman. Blowing the ship's hull in the deep sea. For you, it's a dead end. For me, it's a clear path. See you later, everyone. The ocean floor is endless darkness and cold. High-grade water escape talisman. Shot out 200 li in one go. When my spiritual power was depleted, I was already in a deep-sea trench without any light. I didn't stop. I summoned a black crystal wave-piercing shuttle. Got inside. Only then did I let out a sigh of relief. Under its protection, I took out the jade box I stole from the merchant ship. Azure Water Green Lotus Seeds. 3 living lotus seeds, each a full century old, with the gray gourd to hasten maturity, then refined into pills. Breakthrough to foundation establishment. Mid-stage breakthrough is certain, but such spiritual items must be planted where spiritual energy is abundant. In an underwater water eye with perpetual water flow, Sun Fuguei said. The original route had a secret location with a large water eye, so there must be a water eye nearby. I compressed my spiritual sense into a thin line. Began a 5-day grid search. This kind of mentally exhausting search. I kept it up for a full 5 days. Found it. This is a hidden natural cave. The spiritual energy of this spring eye is 30% more abundant than the cave dwelling in Celestial Star City. But beside the water eye, a second-order mid-stage peak demon beast lies there. Deep-sea golden armor crab. Equivalent to foundation establishment mid-stage. And its shell is comparable to a top-grade defensive magic tool, except for the eyes and abdomen. It has almost no weak points. A frontal assault. I'd gain nothing in the deep-sea environment. But when running a dungeon and grinding mobs, when have I ever relied on brute force? I retreat to the narrow tunnel entrance. Like a patient hunter beginning to set up an array. 50 first-order top-grade freezing talismans, 10 second-order low-grade earth prison talismans are laid out. I circulate the withered wood revival art to fully channel Qi. It's too big. The tunnel restricts its speed. Now activate. Freeze. Extreme cold freezes its joints, slowing its movements by a full 30%. In that instant of slowness, I don't strike its indestructible shell. Instead, I follow the tiny gap it exposed. This sword drains nearly 30% of my true essence. But the result is brilliant. 0 casualties, 1-shot kill on a mid-stage foundation establishment demon beast. This is the law of the immortal cultivation world. Brains and schemes are always deadlier than brute force. A cave dwelling is secured. Now it's time for me, Wen Wu, to go into seclusion and farm. And break through to foundation establishment mid-stage. Inside the water eye cave dwelling, I use arrays to arrange it, like an iron wall. I take the 3 green water lotus seeds and bury them in the spirit soil of the spring eye. The spiritual Qi and flowing water here are perfect for planting. But I can't wait the hundreds of years it needs to grow naturally. Every full moon night, I float to the sea surface, letting the gray gourd absorb enough moonlight essence. After condensing it into creation spirit liquid, I drip feed it to the lotus seed in the spring eye. Time loses meaning in this deep sea darkness. Half a year later, the lotus that grows from the water mirror is completely different from what the ancient texts record. After absorbing the lightning creation liquid, It mutated into purple thunder, green water lotus, a mutated spirit herb. Its medicinal power is terrifying. But the pills refined from this stuff. Can this body of mine endure them? No time to worry about that. Cultivation is meant to defy heaven for one's life. If you're afraid of death, why cultivate it all? I pull out the spirit herb. Take out several dozen auxiliary ingredients. Still the same old rule. The ultimate waste pill method. 3 days later. 5 waste pills radiating violent lightning toxins come out of the furnace. I don't hesitate. I stuff them into the gray gourd. Another full moon night. When the gray gourd finishes absorbing moonlight. These are no longer ordinary pills. These are 3-mark Thunder Lotus pills. Here goes nothing. The violent purple thunder pounds my flesh and bones like countless tiny hammers. The pain is 10 times more intense than absorbing the star sword fragment. But I don't even grunt. Not a single groan. I frantically circulate. The Guiyi sword art. Using water to nourish wood. Using thunder to break metal. Within the Dantian, the spiritual sea begins to expand at a visible rate, until it has enlarged by a full 5 times. The realm barrier blocking me shatters violently before this torrent of thunder. Mid-stage. Feeling the surging, vigorous true essence within my body. And that more condensed thunder sounds sword intent. I have a delusion. That right now, with one punch I could shatter the shell of that second-order mid-stage golden armor crab. Foundation establishment mid-stage. In just 2 or 3 years, I've gone from a low-level rogue cultivator to a core-strength member of Star Sea. This speed would shame the geniuses of great sects, but I earned it all with my life, countless schemes, and forcing my way through with the gourd, with the leftover top-grade pills. Solidifying my realm is easy. Sun Fuguei, Iron Hand, and that employer. Bloodhammer Su Kuang, you all used me as cannon fodder. That score. I now have the right to go back and settle it slowly. After stabilizing my realm for 3 months in the inner city of Tianqing City, I push open that stone door, feeling the surging foundation establishment. Mid-stage true essence within my body. My gaze is ice cold. Your trump card should always be hidden where others can't see. To the outside world, I still appear as the same cultivation level as when I left. I head straight for the most famous black market for information in the inner city, the Listening Wind Pavilion. Senior 1. The Sun Fuguei and Su Kuang you asked about. They've become quite the talk of the town lately. Oh. To recount, about half a year ago, a merchant ship encountered marauders from the Bone Sect. Elder Hai of the Merchant Alliance died together with the marauders. So Elder Hai really did die. No wonder Sun Fuguei dares to be so reckless. Sun Fuguei miraculously survived. He turned the tables, claiming the ship was robbed because of a mole. He says you feigned death and absconded with top-tier treasures. The Merchant Alliance is furious. They've issued a wanted notice for Bloodhammer. Su Kuang has also put a high bounty on your head. Sun Fuguei and Su Kuang hit it off immediately. They've set up a net spread across heaven and earth, waiting for you to show your face. Got it. Find thief, crying stop thief. Using the Merchant Alliance to suppress me? Then I'll use their own strength against them. I spend a fortune to buy a set of second-order top-grade Capital Sky dragon trapping array. The lotus seeds are already planted, but on this jade box, there remains the exclusive sealing mark of the Tianqing Merchant Alliance. The seeds have been planted, but this thing can still be used. Time to let the Merchant Alliance hear another version of the story. Take this to the entrance of the Tianqing Merchant Alliance Enforcement Hall. Don't open it. Understood, understood. Sun Fuguei colluded with the marauders, crying thief to cover his own theft. Want to know the whereabouts of the core treasure and the truth? 3 days later, meet at the Ghost Abyss. The item has been sent out. Now I just need to lure them out. Look, that cyan robe cultivator is Wen Wu from the Snow Mountain list. He actually dares to show his face. Hurry and notify Su Kuang and Steward's son. Come on, don't keep me waiting too long. Ghost Abyss, 3,000 li outside Tianqing City. That place has year-round, thick black fog that never disperses. There are also strong magnetic storms inside, which greatly weaken a cultivator's divine sense. The deeper in, the more troublesome. Too many hidden reefs. Can't fly normally in midair. You have to skim the sea surface. 1 day later, I arrive at the center of Ghost Abyss. I don't aim to kill them by jumping realms head-on. Su Kuang is Foundation Establishment. Late stage, in a frontal fight. I might not have the advantage. Sun Fuguei, to silence me, will definitely bring Su Kuang to the Enforcement Hall. Seeing the jade fragment, they'll also send experts to tail him in secret. What I need to do is make them fight each other first inside Ghost Abyss. The black fog at Ghost Abyss is too thick. Only the sound of waves crashing against reefs remains. The Capital Sky dragon trapping array is already hidden in the seabed reefs, leaving only one gap of life. Enough for them to walk right into it. Wen Wu, you bastard. You actually dare to show up outside the city? Su Kuang was severely wounded by a false core demon beast in the Qinyuan sword sphere. Spent over half a year recovering. Star. Sword marrow also fell into my hands. Of course he hates me. Brother Su, that's not fair, is it? In the sword prison, wasn't it you who told me to be the bait? I just ran a bit faster. Why are you so angry? Enough chatter with him. Wen Wu, you colluded with the Bone Sect marauders, sank the merchant ship under false pretenses, and stole the Merchant Alliance's heavy treasure. Today I'll act on behalf of heaven and capture you. Bring you back to the Alliance to report. Steward son, this place, not a single soul for 100 li around. Who are you putting on this act for? For 100 li around, there's not a single soul. Who are you putting on this act for? How did the merchant ship really sink? How did the salvage disappear? You really have no idea in your heart. The employer made you take the route through Skeleton Bridge. Wasn't it to call people out for a double cross? Didn't the split get locked in? Now you're throwing the black pot onto me, a mere Foundation establishment early stage rogue cultivator? You're talking nonsense. Me nonsense? What about Iron Hand? He was blown up in the bottom hold. Didn't even fish out his corpse. Come on, you want to kill me to silence me? To cover up your collusion with Jia the bandit to murder the Merchant Alliance elder? Too bad you're too impatient. Brother Jia, don't drag it out. Delay breeds change. Let's attack together and kill him. The Star Sword follows you. Everything else on him is mine. Works for me. Die. One Foundation establishment late stage. One Foundation establishment mid stage. Taking them head on isn't cost effective. Rise. I stuffed 10 mid-grade spirit stones into the array eye. This kind of bank-breaking formation isn't so easy to break. Hom. Sun Fuguei, you traitor feeding outsiders. The enforcement hall's twin killers. They're here. 2 Foundation establishment. Late stage peak. Only 1 step away from core formation. Wen Wu sent a message via other means. I was only half convinced at first, old man. But I didn't expect to actually coax the words out of you. Colluding with bandit cultivators. Causing Elder Hai's death. You deserve to die 10,000 deaths. Enforcement Elder, misunderstanding. This is that brat's divisive scheme. He has. Take him down. Soul search. A single check will reveal the truth. The tables have turned. Damn it. You bastard. He actually lured Su Kuang from Heavenly Star Enforcement Hall here. Kuang by name, but not stupid. 2 Foundation establishment. Late stage peak. On the scene. He won't start a leak, right? Brother son, you'll have to figure it out yourself. Trying to run? Stay? Too bullying. Do you really think I'm easy to handle? The commotion from Foundation establishment later stage fights really is big. Wen Wu, you insidious little man. Even in death, I won't let you off. Hidden for so long. It's time to let him see clearly. Foundation establishment mid-stage. When did you break through? About half a year ago. You were clearly only Foundation establishment early stage. You won't get a chance to know that answer. Open. I don't go for cross-realm, brute force fights. But when facing the same rank, I don't drag things out. Guiyi sword art. Thunder sound sword Qi. You. What overbearing sword Qi? Junior Wen Wu greets the enforcement hall elder. This man committed too many evil deeds. In a moment of outrage, I struck first. I beg the elder's forgiveness. Friend Wen, your sword art is astonishing. You provided the lead, helping the Merchant Alliance remove a mole. I, old man, owe you this favor. Sun Fuguei's storage pouch. I must take back for my report. But the bounty on his head counts as the Alliance's debt to you. Thank you, Elder. Friend 1, this man is Su Kuang, the one with a bounty on your head from the black market, right? Correct, since he's your enemy, and has no real backing. I won't bother taking him back. Consider it a little extra from the Merchant Alliance. Elders, take care. Now there's only one last debt to settle. Falling into my hands, you won't have a good end. Brother Sue. Next time you team up, don't use your teammates as cannon fodder. This grudge is settled. Using the Heavenly Star Merchant Alliance's blade to eliminate an enemy at Foundation Establishment late stage, and making the Alliance owe me a favor to boot. First, get away from Ghost no resentment. Can't leave anyone a chance to track me. No divine sense following. A little farther. Remote enough here. Good for taking stock. The entire wealth of a Foundation Establishment late-stage cultivator. Surely it should have at least some, sense. Su Kuang's dead. His lingering seal can't stop me anymore. I'm not exactly poor now, but the stuff in here is still a bit ridiculous. Really fat haul. Mid-grade spirit stones, 1-2. A full 320 pieces. And several 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. But this alone is enough to splurge inside Heavenly Star City's inner district for years. Plenty of pills for boosting cultivation and healing at Foundation Establishment. Too bad the fire poison and bloodthirst energy are too heavy. Su Kuang cultivated evil arts, stuff I can't use. Can only sell it. What's really interesting are these three things. Blood-severing escape art, Su Kuang's signature. He ran rampant in Heavenly Star City thanks to this secret technique. The side effects are big, but for survival, it has its unique points. Even the Enforcement Elder's golden light mirror almost couldn't stop him. Keep it as a trump card. Black luster crystal iron. Top-grade magical implement material. Even usable as a prototype for a Dharma treasure. This material has no elemental attribute, but its strength is its hardness. If I can merge it into Thunder Sound Sword's edge, the sharpness can go up another level. This thing, though, I can't see through. On the front, the character, firm. On the back, a star map. No spiritual power fluctuation. Yet it's abnormally heavy. Even my divine sense can't penetrate it. And Su Kuang kept it in a jade box. That blocks divine sense. For a Foundation Establishment late-stage cultivator to carry it on his person, it's definitely no ordinary item. Forget it, I'll find someone to ask about it when I'm back in Heavenly Star City. Spirit stones stay spirit stones, pills to be sold. Secret technique, materials, and token, sealed separately. This haul from Su Kuang is enough to push my strength another step forward. Heavenly Star City, I'll be back soon. 5 days later, I swaggered back into Heavenly Star City. It's Wen Wu. The spies watching me had cleared out cleanly. I heard, Sun Fugue's few trusted subordinates were all publicly executed. This guy now isn't a wanted criminal. He's an honored guest of the Merchant Alliance. I heard the Alliance even personally went to his home to apologize. From being hunted by everyone to a guest of honor. Just a few days. But I know very well, they respect not the victim, but strength. One Thunder Sound Sword Qi was enough to make many people reassess me. In Heavenly Star City, what truly earns respect has always been only cultivation and killing power. Senior, this is the honored guest token sent by the Merchant Alliance. Also, the rent for the heaven-ranked cave dwelling for the next 10 years has been fully waived. Much obliged. I can accept these benefits, but can't get carried away. What I really need to figure out is this thing. Gathering black market information. It's safer to use a different identity. The outer city black market is a den of all sorts. Perfect for digging up things that can't see the light. Shopkeeper, I'm asking about an item. 30 mid-grade spirit stones. Senior, you found a great opportunity. This is the entry token for the Heavenly Net Dark Gathering. Heavenly Net Dark Gathering? Every 50 years in Heavenly Star City, a massive official auction is held, but the shadowy heavy treasures, ancient cultivator site fragments, stolen goods taboo to the sects, can't go on the official stage. So 1 month before the official auction, a few reclusive core formation elders jointly host the Heavenly Net Dark Gathering. This gathering only recognizes the token, not identities. No wonder Su Kuang hid it so carefully. Those who can enter, at worst, are Foundation Establishment late-stage peak, or the true power holders of major families. In the Dark Gathering, are there top-grade metal or lightning attribute sword cultivation techniques? My Guiyi sword art only has an early-stage foundation establishment fragment. If I don't complete it, no hope for core formation. Ha ha ha, Senior is joking. In the Heavenly Gang Dark Assembly, not to mention incomplete technique manuals. Even complete ancient sword cultivator inheritances. As long as you can afford the price, you can buy them. But inside, spirit stones are rarely used for transactions. Mostly barter. And inside, it's all old foxes who kill without blinking. Easy to enter. Hard to come out alive with treasures. I understand. Heavenly Gang Dark Assembly. Perhaps it's my chance to complete the sword inheritance. I must go to the Heavenly Gang Dark Assembly. Not just for the follow-up techniques of the Guiyi sword art, but even more for the chance at core formation. But there, the weakest is at foundation establishment late-stage peak. There might even be false core monsters. Mere self-defense might be barely possible. Wanting to snatch things from their hands is like pulling teeth from a tiger's mouth. What's more troublesome? I have no money, no magic artifacts. Only have second-rank demon cores. Ordinary things can't move those old foxes at all. Seems I can only work with spirit herbs. The Heavenly Gang Dark Assembly is still 23 months away. For others, 23 months is just a short time. But for me, it's enough to create a miracle. If you truly want this purple lightning bamboo root whiskers, fellow Taoist, 50 mid-grade spirit stones. Ha ha, less than 10 years. Those with high spiritual nature are just waste in their eyes. The essence of black demon iron is perfect for transforming the spirit field. Now it's up to you to live up to expectations. First drop. Second drop, spiritual nature begins to recover. The higher the age, the more greedy it gets. Relying solely on creation spirit liquid is not enough. Then add lightning sound sword Qi. Once the sword Qi goes out of control, he will be struck to ashes. This is gambling with life. Also gambling on the future. After absorbing the essence of black demon iron, it actually mutated. Purple gold thunder sound bamboo. 1,000 years old, gold and thunder dual attribute heavenly treasure. Not to mention foundation establishment. Later stage, even core formation. Sword cultivator old monsters will go crazy for it. With this bargaining chip, I am definitely going to the Heavenly Gang Dark Assembly. 3 days until the Heavenly Gang Dark Assembly opens. The true Dragon Tiger battle of high-level cultivators begins now. The Heavenly Gang Dark Assembly is hidden deep beneath the Heavenly Star City. The natural magnetic storms here are extremely strong. Once divine sense leaves the body beyond 3 feet, it will be shredded. What a grand scheme. Already over 30 people have come. The Shin clan is suppressed. But these people's gazes still feel uncomfortable. None below foundation establishment late stage. There are even core formation ones. 3 old monsters in total. Here, I absolutely cannot show weakness. Foundation establishment mid-stage is at the bottom of this room. If they see I'm a husky mixed into a wolf pack, won't need to see tomorrow's sun. Core formation mid-stage. And even stronger than those 3 in the front row. Thank you, fellow cultivators, for honoring me. This session of the Heavenly Gang Dark Assembly is hosted by me, Ghost Seeker. Rules as usual. I will present the treasures. Everyone bid. Spirit stones or barter are both acceptable. Highest bidder wins. Those who force buy or force sell will be killed. No pardon. Such heavy killing intent. No more nonsense. First item, 800-year blood bodhi. Can extend lifespan for a whole family. And greatly nourish the body's blood and qi. Starting bid, 100. High-grade spirit stones or life-saving artifacts of equal value. High-grade spirit stones. The starting bid for the first item instantly exceeds Su Kuang's entire wealth. First item, high-grade spirit stones. I bid a top-grade defensive magic artifact, Black Tortoise Shield, plus 30 high-grade spirit stones. I bid a section of 700-year Een Soul Wood, 1 item. 3 protective secret treasures. Blood bodhi is good for saving lives. But it's meaningless to me. As long as I find seeds, the age. Spirit herbs are not what I lack most. I came here with only one goal. 1 scroll of ancient incomplete array diagram. Suspected to be from an ancient cultivator's cave dwelling. 200 high-grade spirit stones, plus a set of 5 elements array flags. Complete skeleton of a core formation tier C beast. Can be used for cultivation and array setup. A broken magic artifact prototype? Oh. These things, if released outside, would cause blood and storm. But when it's not time to act, I must not move recklessly. Finally, the finale approaches. Next, the real highlight. Everyone. This is one of the 3 grand finale treasures of this assembly. Protective Aura. Such strong sword Qi. This is the Thunder Sound Sword Art calling him to convert. Incomplete middle scroll of the sword art, and a fragment of the ancient sword cultivators, Duhang sword attendant. This sword art, though only contains techniques from foundation establishment mid-stage to core formation early stage, its power is domineering. The sword cultivators present should know. Refining this item, below core formation, the sword Qi is almost unstoppable. This thing was prepared for me. Middle scroll, to complete the core formation technique, and sword, with the Thunder Sound sword Qi fully formed. This item is not exchanged for spirit stones. The seller's lifespan is nearly at an end. Only wants any one of 3 things. A 1000-year thunder attribute, heavenly spiritual root, a top-quality dust-falling pill that increases core formation chance by 30%, or a heavenly treasure that extends lifespan by 200 years. These 3 conditions are more outrageous than the last. Senior Ghost Seeker, these conditions are too harsh. I have a 500-year heavenly lightning fruit, plus 200 high-grade spirit stones. Can you make an exception? The seller said, not even a day less. If not, it goes unsold. Can't wait any longer. Hold on. Haha. Even if it lasts only a breath, it's enough. As expected, these old foxes are most afraid of those they can't see through. A segment of purple gold thunder, sound bamboo, 1,200 years old. What? What? Haha. Just cutting off one segment already hurts enough. Truly a 1000-year purple gold thunder, sound bamboo. And it's a mutated dual attribute. This item is extremely valuable. To exchange for this half-incomplete scroll and a broken sword fragment, you are at a loss. I can make the decision to let the seller compensate you with 500 high-grade spirit stones. My time is short. What use do I have for those broken stones? Trade or not? Trade. Immediately trade. Got it. Don't show any weakness. No one dares to probe me with divine sense anymore. Able to casually produce a 1000-year treasure. An old monster of the mutated spirit clan. Here, that's someone not to be trifled with. 3 hours later, the assembly ends. Ghost Seeker, to protect the privacy of the participants, activated 12 random teleportation arrays. After a violent dizziness, the scenery before his eyes suddenly changed. Salty sea breeze. This place is already 500 li from Heavenly Star City. I did not flee immediately. Followed me all the way. Since we've come to this wilderness, you need not hide any longer, sir. Very sharp spiritual perception. No wonder you dared to show off your wealth in front of those old monsters. Exactly at the assembly, that sword cultivator who wanted to exchange the heavenly lightning fruit for the sword art. That instant you revealed yourself at the assembly. The false core pressure indeed fooled those ghost walk people. But you can't fool me. I cultivate the water mirror spirit eye. Although I can't see through your disguise, I can see through your bone age and blood Qi. Your real bone age is definitely no more than 40 years. A 40-year-old cultivator, even if he started cultivating from the womb. At best, foundation establishment mid-stage. That pressure of yours was faked using a demon core, wasn't it? You guessed quite accurately. Pity dead men don't need to know the truth. Hand over the remaining purple gold thunder, sound bamboo you have on you. One segment of bamboo is 1,200 years old. You definitely still have bamboo roots. Hand them over, and I'll let you keep a whole corpse. Otherwise what? Courting death. A foundation establishment late-stage peak, sword cultivator's full-force strike. The power is indeed terrifying. Cross-realm combat is difficult. But if the terrain is suitable and preparations are thorough, then it's a different story, since you cultivate a water-attributed technique. Don't you know that water conducts electricity? Capital Sky Dragon Trapping Array, Rise. Is that so? This desolate island is now a sealed water prison. Guiyi sword art, transform to violent purple lightning. All of you get in. You madman. This kind of indiscriminate attack will electrocute you too. Sorry. This lightning recognizes its master. Thunder sound sword energy break. He died without understanding why he was one-shot killed by a Foundation establishment mid-stage cultivator. You're very clever. You saw through my disguise. Too bad you miscalculated my chi and my brains. Heaven Star City, time to go back and take on jobs.